All right, welcome everybody. We are back. This is game 4 of Civ4 AI Survivor, uh, season number 9, game number 4. To give you a quick setting the stage here, we basically have co-favorites in the community to win this one. The community favorite is technically Darius, and then Hammurabi is the second favorite. They're relatively close. I think the final was like 38% and like 31%, and then everybody else was much, much, much lower. So they are basically co-favorites. I have picked Hammurabi. I am sure I have now doomed poor Hammer here to a terrible finish. He will probably now be first to die with how my picks are going. But my actual first to die pick is Peter over here. Two low piece weight AIs in a field of high piece weights, Peter and Boudica. I think they're going to have a tough patch to hoe here, but we'll see. And then I have Ramses as for second place. I do not feel anywhere near as confident about that. All right, guys, let's go ahead and get started. All right. First thing I noticed out of the gate, this is a lot on mysticism. So we have two leaders that start with mysticism tech. Boudica starts with it, and Charlemagne starts with it. So Boudica is going to found one religion. Charlemagne is going to found the other religion. Apparently, Roosevelt and Ramses also want to chase after, and Hammurabi all want to chase after a religion as well, which is interesting. None of them are going to get a religion. Where is Darius? Is Darius going pottery first? That's a good question. He is. Darius has apparently rolled pottery as his first tech, which is never terrible for a financial leader. He kind of has most of the starting techs he needs because Persia is agriculture and hunting, so he can connect the ivory and the corn right out of the gate. So that's not the worst initial tech path for Darius, even though it does mean that he's not going towards bronze working or animal husbandry, but that's not that bad overall. It was already also mentioned in chat, Peter opening bronze working is awful for him. That's just terrible. Peter needs animal husbandry, and he starts with hunting tech. He's Russia's hunting mining starting techs. So he should have opened animal husbandry here. He's not going to be able to do anything with his start. He can mine this tile, and that's it. That's literally the only thing he can do. Because he can't build roads, he doesn't have wheel, he can't farm, he doesn't have agriculture, and he can't connect the cows because he doesn't have animal husbandry. So he literally can do nothing other than mine a hill tile, and then his worker stands around doing nothing. That is not a good way to open the game. Anyway, Roosevelt, Ramses, Hammurabi are all going... I mean, I guess it's not awful that they get mysticism, so they can build monuments because none of them are creative. So, like, I guess it's not terrible. I don't know if that's quite ideal, though. Interesting starting tech path, though. Roosevelt does start with fishing tech. He's the only one with a coastal start. He does start with fishing. America is agriculture fishing, so he'll be able to connect this. But that does mean he won't be able to connect the sheep for a little bit. All right, well, that's weird. In any case, let's see where the initial settlers are going. So Boudica north. Ramses is going southeast. Darius is going north, which is probably the correct decision for him. This is like a safe backline for Darius. He probably should try to put his first city like right... this would probably be the best spot right here, because it would get the rice and claim land in this direction. Something like that. Okay. Hammurabi's going south. No, my curse is striking again. Hammurabi, you're supposed to go like here. No, what are you doing? Oh man. And then was it Peter's going north? Charlemagne is going east. What is he doing? Oh, he's gonna go grab this. He's probably gonna take this spot here. Okay. And Roosevelt's going, if Roosevelt puts his city like right here or like right here, that's a pretty nice spot for a city. Wait, what? What is this? Why did he settle 3 tiles away from his capital? What is this? So that's certainly a choice. I guess it's not that bad. It does have the corn. This is a dry corn, not a wet corn. I guess it's okay. I feel like he could have picked a better spot though, because it does manage to miss these furs. I guess it'll have iron event. I mean, it's pretty mediocre. I think he could have picked a better spot, but it's not terrible. Building a 22 turn settler is not great, but remember, Hammurabi is agriculture wheel starting tech, so he'll farm this and then he'll come over and farm. I don't know. I've seen worse. The AI, it's not a Hannibal jungle city that's going to take 80 turns to build a settler, but he could have been worse. All right, elsewhere. So Boudica has picked this spot, which again, if she gets animal husbandry, it's not that bad. She did. This city does grab the sheep from the capital. She desperately needs to get animal husbandry very, very badly. If she runs that as her next tech, then she'll be in good shape. I think she will go that for her next tech, because this will be a holy city and it'll pop the borders. I mean, without being a holy city, it wouldn't be as good, but it'll look a lot better that way. Does she have the river connect? She does. Does get the river connection. Okay, nice. Ramses, I don't know that I like this as much, because it's mostly calendar resources and the pigs are in the second ring. Yeah, this is pretty mediocre, but it is in the right direction at least. It is in the direction it needs to be, so I guess there's that. And then Peter, well, he's got, I mean, this is kind of like the Hammurabi spot because it does have a corn resource, but pre-ironworking, this is also pretty sad. Yeah, that's true. Boudica does have a big river system for religious spreads. That is true. Good point. Maybe that could help her. Isn't that the... Yeah. Well, I was kind of hoping he would go a little bit... I was kind of hoping he'd have a food bonus in the first ring. If he gets a monument in here... the problem is he's not going to be able to connect these pigs for like 30 turns. He has to pop borders and get to animal husbandry, so that's not happening in the immediate future. It's in the right direction, but that's about all I can really say that's good about it. All right, let's see where the remaining cities get planted. So Charlemagne went on the coast as expected. Now he does not have fishing tech, so he cannot connect the clams. He doesn't have animal husbandry, so he can't connect the sheep. But this will be a holy city. Prague is definitely positioned, so it's going to be harder for this religion to expand, which this is going to be Christianity, by the way. Boudica's religion is definitely positioned to expand a lot more easily than this one is. And Roosevelt, whoa. He went even further east than I thought. I was saying, like, maybe this spot, because he does miss this corn resource, which is kind of bad. But the advantage of him opening mysticism is he can pop the borders and he'll get the pigs. I don't know why he picked this exact spot. Like, this would be a much better spot. But, I mean, he can't see the horses, to be fair. Well, that's not a lot of space for Charlemagne based on where the early settlers went. Look at that. He got crowded out of the gate pretty badly. So that's going to be a little bit more of an uphill. Also, yeah, Darius, what is this? Darius, what the heck? That's further north than I thought he was going to go. I mean, it's got one food bonus. It's on the coast. Does he have the trade route? No, it's not in the same cultural border, so he doesn't have the river connection. I mean, I've seen worse. It's a little jungly. It's not going to have much production, but okay. So yeah, that's all of the... It'll be interesting to see if one of these religions fall, if like Roosevelt and Hammurabi pull off these religions. I suspect that they will. Okay. Well, we're about to see the first religion founded. Charlemagne is going to get... He'll pick Christianity for the religion, because we have choose religions on. But he is a little cramped out of the gate already. Let's see if people cancel the polytheism research when Boudica found them. It'll also be interesting to see what religion Boudica picks. Islam, of all things. Come on, wait for it. There we go. It looks like everyone swapped off the religious hunt, so that's no surprise. So Roosevelt went over to hunting, which is probably for animal husbandry. It's kind of funny how he farmed the sheep, which is the correct decision, by the way. Just kind of amusing. Ramses went animal husbandry, which makes sense. He's got a grassland cow there. He's already farming his food bonuses. He needs to get mining so he can connect his gold. And Hammurabi went hunting, which makes sense. He's got ivory. And Darius is still on pottery. Peter's still on bronze working. Charlemagne went fishing for his clams. Okay, so some solid decisions there. And this is the nice thing about the AIs when they have wheel as a starting tech, is they can connect the early cities. I mean, was it necessary to build freaking 4 roads, 1, 2, 3, 4, before building the farm on the corn? No, but I guess it got built eventually, and that'll speed up the settlers significantly. Anyway, over here, so in terms of settlers, who's going to be the first one to get a settler out? Boudica is... she's an anarch... no, what is she doing? Please tell me she's going to fix that next turn. Okay, there we go. I was like, what is she doing? But she did fix that. Okay. So I guess nobody's going to get one out sooner than about 8 or 9 turns from now. I guess Darius is going to be the first, although he is building it in his capital over his second city. Now, that said, I think it's better when the AIs build it in their capital over their second city. So Darius will be first, and then everybody else will follow a few turns after that. All right. Boudica going animal husbandry. That's the correct tech for her. So that's good. Yeah, Darius looks like he's going to be the first to get. So these turns, there's not going to be that much happening. We'll just click through rather quickly. Again, the impact of the early happiness is really... oh, here, let me just click to another turn. Archery Roosevelt, Archery Charlemagne, Archery Hammurabi. Hammurabi wants his unique unit. That makes sense. The early +1 happiness is pretty significant. Look at this. So this is the reason why I picked Hammurabi, is his capital just is a really nice looking capital here. Hey, Burple, glad you're able to catch this live. I mean, we say archery is a poison pill because it does slow down development. It's not terrible. They do need to build better units, but there are just like better choices. So like take Roosevelt. He went for archery. What the tech he needs is animal husbandry, so he can connect this sheep. He also did build a monument, so he'll have, once he pops borders, he'll be able to connect the pigs, and he'll also be able to see and connect the horses. So wait, did he farm? He farmed the deer tile, and then now he's putting a camp on it. That's just kind of silly. So like that's why archery is bad, not because the tech itself is bad, but there's just more important stuff they should be grabbing in these early turns. Charlemagne also, again, reason why I didn't like Charlemagne for one of the top spots. Look at how slow his development is here. He has no tile improvements. This is the downside to, so this is the real downside. I'm actually going to screenshot this. I might want to use this in the report later. This is the real downside to his terrible starting techs. He can't do anything. Like, look, he went for a religion out of the gate. Okay, great. He got his religion. He got meditation. He then researched fishing. So, okay, he can connect the clams. Gotcha. But, like, look at what else. He's now going for archery. He can't mine hill tiles. He doesn't have mining. He can't farm. He can't build pastures. He can't build roads. And he can't build cottages. Like, what can he do? This start is just super slow because of his tech paths. And, like, that's the downside to him. We had a request to make sure the Barbs have archers. I did do that before the game, but just to reassure everybody, there you go. They have archery. I think you can actually see some Barb archers on the map. Maybe they haven't spawned yet. I guess we still have Barb animals. But yes, they do have that. So anyway, that's the downside there, just overall. Okay, let's just keep scrolling through here. As I said, there's not too much to watch until people finish their settlers. And Darius is going to be the first. So where does he want to send this one? Kudos to Darius for, he at least did settle a spot that has a corn resource. And Ramses did this. Oh no, Ramses did not do the same thing. I forgot. By the way, farming that cow tile. Which is really silly when you're one turn away from animal husbandry. But yeah. All right, Darius, where are you going to send this thing? So Peter has finally finished bronze working. And now he's going to go animal husbandry. But again, like, there's no tile improvements anywhere. He could do 2 things. He could mine this and mine that, and that's it. That's literally all he could do. This is like a clinic in why starting techs are important, and like why picking a bad initial tech path can just set you so far behind in the early game. I mean, like, look at this. Look at this city here. He's got an unimproved bananas, and he's got a grassland hill at size 2. Okay. Like, compare that to this city here. This city is size 5, 6 food per turn, 8 hammers per turn, over this, which is 2 food, 4 hammers. It's just such a big difference. So anyways, yeah, not to belabor the point, but starting techs and initial tech path does matter a lot. Peter has a farm on the corn, does he? Nope. Peter does not start with agriculture. He does not have any farms. Good question, but he does not have them. All right. So Darius has finished the first settler, and he is walking it to the southeast. We'll probably go for this gold tile, would be my guess, but I guess we'll see. Hammurabi on pottery. Roosevelt now belatedly for animal husbandry. Darius on fishing. What the heck? I guess he has a coastal city. Well, that's not the right choice. Definitely not the right choice there. And then I think some other people just finished some settlers. So there's a settler here. Peter just finished his settler. Charlemagne has finished his. Roosevelt finished his. And Boudica and Ramses are a little bit slower. Oh, no, never mind. Darius turned and walked northeast with this one. Okay. Where is he going with it? That hill spot wouldn't be terrible. I said before I thought this would be a good spot for a city. All right. No, well, he needs a border expansion. Did he research mysticism? Was he one of the ones who... No, okay. No mysticism, so that means the city's basically terrible until he pops borders. Oh, no, he's on sailing. Oh, no way. There's no way you want sailing this early, Darius. He has early pottery and early sailing. Again, great for commerce purposes, but not so good for food hammers. I mean, he has the early granaries. That's nice, too. And he has +1 happiness from ivory. There is potential here, but there's also some stuff that I don't like as much. All right, the early Stonehenge from Ramses, which is in some ways good, because then you won't... By the way, there's a Barb city, which is bad for Hammurabi. In some ways, it's good because it means you won't have to waste time building monuments. On the downside, it's not a settler, which is what he probably should be building. That is a very early moment for a Barb city to pop up. Turn 24. Bad news for Hammurabi because this is like territory that should be uncontested for him. This is about as early as a Barb city can spawn overall. All right, anyway, let's watch where the other... by the way, I sure can curse these leaders, can't I? A turn 24 Barb city that only affects him. I'm really good at cursing these leaders, aren't I? Anyway, so Peter has picked a spot over here, which looks like a pretty solid spot. Double food bonuses. Not bad. Unfortunately, he can't connect any of the food bonuses right now. We also had a request to look at the capitals, so... we'll start. Hammurabi looks pretty solid here. Again, he could use a little bit more happiness. Needs to get that gold resource in his territory. He apparently is headed in this direction. So we'll see if he tries to make a play for the floodplains region. One thing that helps Hammurabi is this is on a flat ground. If this were on a hill, it would be much harder to kill this. But he probably just needs axes to take it over. We saw Darius over here also has the +1 city size. Via the ivory, and then he's got built 1 cottage, and he has those resources connected. Ramses up here really needs to get mining, although in his defense he is researching it. He's not working the rice tile for some reason. I guess he just doesn't have enough happiness. Boudica, yeah, not looking as good. At least she has connected her cows, but not looking quite as nice here. Roosevelt is still working on animal husbandry. He does have both fish connected. The lack of early happiness hurts a little bit there. And Peter is a freaking disaster. Size 1 capital. What happened to his capital? He slaved his capital down to size 1? Are you kidding me? What is this guy doing? He's a size 1 capital. What in the world did he need to slave out? What the heck? He doesn't have a granary or anything there. And then Charlemagne's capital looks terrible as well. All right. So there were some other settlers. All right. So we saw Roosevelt settle right here. Not the worst spot. Another food bonus. He didn't end up wasting this. Now the problem is he should have founded it. I guess that's good to get in the first ring. The problem is the gold. He narrowly misses the gold tile with this. I feel like the ideal place would be on this tile. Obviously, that's not possible because it's a mountain peak, but that would have been ideal to then get the gold after a border expansion. All right, other settlers out on the map. We have, all right, we have this Hammurabi. We have Boudica one walking east, and a Hammurabi one down in that floodplains area. Over here. Okay. Hammurabi apparently determined to control as little territory as possible. He actually split the ivory tile off from the capital temporarily. Okay. I'm not sure why he doesn't want to claim land, but all right. And let's see, we had a settler. Didn't Ramses just finish a settler too? Yep, it's going northeast. Okay, probably going to settle in this area, but Boudica probably drops the next one. And Charlemagne went south with his spots. He looks like he's going to run out of territory pretty quickly here, which means if Charlemagne, let me put it this way, if Charlemagne runs out of territory, he's going to try to attack someone once he's out of space. So the odds that he and Peter get in a very destructive war that goes nowhere are pretty high. Pretty high. Let's see. So Boudica is still walking east. Where is she going with this settler? This is going a little further afield than we normally see. Also spamming the archers as usual. Oh, Barb City in the middle of the map. That just popped up too. Interesting. They were certainly... Now, I'm not surprised to see this. Like, you would expect the middle of the map to have Barb Cities. But that's still annoying for, like, Boudica and Roosevelt and Peter and Hammurabi. Because this is dead center. This city's not going anywhere. This is on a plains hill. That's not going anywhere. Is Hammurabi going monotheism? That's certainly possible. Nope, just masonry. Probably wants it for the stone. Doesn't he have stone near his... I thought he had a... no, he has marble near his... Okay, so actually I have no idea why... I actually have no idea why he's going for that. Does not make a ton of sense. Okay, Boudica has managed to plant her city in a spot that misses any food, any resource whatsoever in the first ring. But she does have floodplains, and she's going to build a monument so the borders will pop. But she could have founded this like one tile north, and that probably would have been better. Then Ramses picked the spot as expected that had the rice tile. And after borders expand, the pigs. Looks like Ramses is going to get beaten to Stonehenge by Hammurabi. And who is getting ready to plant more settlers? A slow settler under production from Peter. Another... Wow, a lot of people going for Stonehenge. I will say that going for Stonehenge and not getting it is probably not the best. I do like that Darius is on another settler. Darius, like, if he just expands, that's probably the single best thing he needs to do is just make sure he gets out of that corner. I don't see anything too crazy going on here in terms of what text people are researching. But anyway, there's Stonehenge. So that's probably pretty nice for Hammurabi. The Barb City being over there is not so nice. It looks like he just finished pottery because all his cities are on granaries right now. So we don't have a ton of settlers in production right now. I see a couple, but not a lot. It doesn't look like any... It looks like Darius is going to be the next one to get a settler done. Oh, look at this one. Yeah. Wow. You guys are right. You guys in the chat had this a little before I spotted it. This is also kind of a brutal spot for a city. Yeah, a couple of you even said that. That's rough. And this is on a hill, too. There was certainly... I'm just surprised... Not surprised that we're getting Barb Cities, but that we're getting them this early. This is early to have 3 of them on turn 32. But this map does seem to just have more empty space than some of the other maps. This one seems like it's big. That's pretty brutal, though. That's going to make it tough to expand. Anyway, well, I guess we'll just next turn a little bit until we see... I guess Darius is going to be the next one to get a settler done. I don't see anything too crazy in terms of what text people are researching. Just going to see if... So there's... Oh, I guess Ramses has got a settler en route as well. And then... Boudica also has one. Okay, so I guess some of the leaders are starting to queue up. Boudica very belatedly now going for agriculture. All right, I guess everybody now decided it was the time to build another settler. And Peter, I think, just finished his. Yeah, did he slave that out? He just slaved out that settler. I don't think he really needed to do that. But whatever, he finished it. And then I guess there's another one down here. So I guess we'll watch where the Peter settler goes because he's the first one to get it finished. It's walking around unescorted. Buddy, there's a Barb Archer right there. Where'd it go? Oh, it went in his capital. Okay. There's a 4th Barb City? Where did that pop up? Oh, okay. Wow, another one over here. Barb Central over here. A lot of barb cities this early on this map. The perfectly symmetrical Russian Empire that's like Mickey Mouse ears is not going to last much longer. 5. There's another. Oh my God! What? What is this? Another one. What the heck? It's a lot of barb cities. I mean, this might actually be good for Hammurabi though, because this basically is going to be like Darius. Darius is not going to want to push in this direction. I think that kind of seals Darius into this little peninsula. I think it kind of seals him in here. I don't think he's going to be willing, unless he goes in this direction here, maybe. But I feel like all these barbs are just going to keep him restricted to this corner down here. I mean, look where he's sending this settler to the southwest corner here. Should have picked the barbs to win, I know, seriously. By the way, look at how bad Peter's score is because his initial tech path was so bad. And it's true, Darius is immortal, so I mean, this is a flat ground city. Maybe he could connect immortals, and well, he needs horses for that. Does he have horses? If he pops borders in this city, but he doesn't have any sources of culture yet, so he would have to connect horses for that. But that is a way to potentially kill them. Barbs are the biggest civ in the world right now. I know, right? It's crazy. All right, so Darius has a settler there. Ramses is apparently claiming the Pacific coast. Boudica just finished a settler. We know Peter has one out. Charlemagne just finished one. And there's one almost done here. And there's one almost done here. Hammurabi's really going to bet. So Hammurabi just got the border pop for this city. If he had just gotten the furs, like if he had just put this city one tile east to claim both furs, that would have been nice. Oh well. I'm also surprised he's farming this instead of building a cottage there. He cottaged the grassland hill and he's farming the floodplains. Okay. Interesting choices there. But, I mean, like, just compare the development in Pete. Like, look at Peter's land, right? There's no roads. There's a couple mines that he can't work because his cities are too small. There's no I mean, look, there's no resource. Look at this. There's no resources connected. It's turn 39. He has no resources connected. He's researching a 10-turn agriculture. Look at this. And, like, compare it to this. Like, there's 3 resources connected. There's roads everywhere. Tile improvements galore. I mean, Darius has a similar setup. Look at Darius here. This is looking pretty lovely. I mean, it's just night and day. You can just see that Peter is just, like, completely screwed himself. Peter had a 4th city settler. It's in his capital right now. I don't know why he's been using so much slavery when he doesn't have granaries in his cities. Anyway, well, we'll keep watching where these settlers go. Sorry, I feel like it's important to highlight when AI leaders are just like self-destructing with really bad choices. So that's a very early great prophet. He doesn't have a religion though. I guess he got that. He's just been running the slider. Okay. Is he going to use it to slingshot like monotheism or something? He might just use it as a super specialist. Because he could... Oh, he's going ironworking. What the... Okay. Ironworking. What the heck? Does he have iron? Because he doesn't... I guess it's because he didn't have copper. I mean, there's iron up there. I guess we'll go settle that. Interesting. Okay. Anyway, Darius settled on the coast. I don't hate these cities from Darius. Like, he's definitely doing what he needs to do to get some nice long-term potential here. The question is, like, does he just get stuck on 6 or 7 cities and never gets more? But I like Darius. I don't hate Darius's opening. He's very sheltered, which tends to be good for him. Boudica, where is she sending her? She had a settler out, didn't she? Okay. Boudica has no road, so it takes forever for her settlers to get anywhere. Peter's settler appears to be heading for the southern coast. And Charlemagne's settler appears to be headed for the border with America. Okay. Claim that spot. Going for more settlers, too. Peter is probably going to settle right on this tile. Yeah. Right now, the barb archers are causing some issues. There's a lot of barbarian units here. Good thing. And bowmen actually don't get any kind of an advantage over normal. What do they get? Don't they? What is their unique benefit? They get the benefit against melee units, right? They get plus 50% against melee. Otherwise, they're the same as normal archers. well, yeah, a lot of the time, look at this. There's a lot of barbarians here trying to build a cottage. So there's 1, 2, 3, 4 barbs that can attack here. But there's 3 bowmen on defense, so I can't imagine that this city's in any real danger. Okay, apparently the archers didn't even attack. They just ran around pillaging. Yeah, one of them attacked the bowman and died. This one, I guess, is going to grab... Oh, there's silver. That's right, there's silver down here, too. I forgot this guy has so many happiness resources. Of course... Of course, yeah. Okay. Of course. But yeah, eventually, in however many thousands of turns, this will pop borders to 3rd ring, and then that will be claimed. The AI sure can pick where to settle sometimes. Good thing he has Stonehenge, so for mini creative, so he'll be able to get the wheat tile. I mean, it's actually not that bad of a city. Oh, for some reason, this is not a floodplains tile. That's got to be some kind of an... Shouldn't this be a floodplains tile? I'm really confident I did not edit this map to, like, put in river mode. But, like, shouldn't this be a... That should be a floodplains tile. Because it's a desert on fresh water. I'll just fix that real quick. I'm pretty confident I did not put a river in here in the game mode. But, like, that's... Obviously should be floodplains. Weird. Anyway. Very, very weird. It can happen during map generation. It's natural and possible. Okay. Huh. Anyway, that's funny. I didn't know that. Okay. Dropping extra tiles on his pick. Shh. No. Well, if that actually can happen naturally, then we shouldn't do that. Because I swear that I did not I swear I did not edit this part of the map. If it can happen naturally, then we shouldn't touch it. All right. Boudica has so Ramses did settle on the coast. Now what's interesting is because Ramses has the obelisk here, he's gonna pop borders and he'll start putting a little pressure on Darius. Darius still does not have any culture. He's researching masonry. Is Darius on a religious beeline here? Nope, just masonry. He still doesn't even have mysticism. I should have realized he can't be beelining monotheism because he doesn't have mysticism yet. Where's that Boudica? Boudica has, like, multiple settlers. Yeah, she has 2 settlers. I don't know where she's setting them. Her economy is not great. We'll check because it's about to be turned 50. We'll check in a minute. And Roosevelt... so let me just put it this way. Roosevelt only has 1 archer in his capital. And there's a barb that can attack. Now... The odds are incredibly low that a barb archer would attack into a city, across a river, and win that combat. The odds of that are like, 0.1%. But it is possible, if you have an insane dice roll, that this archer could attack and actually capture his capital. Apparently he's going to found a city on the northern coast here. Again, it's not going to happen. But 2 archers... the chariot, I think, would finish before the combat can happen. So it's the odds are so low. It's not going to happen. It's not, guys. But just yeah, I don't think the barb archer even bothered to attack. It did attack. It did 2 damage, or it got 2 out of 3 health. Also, this is wait, double. He founded 2 cities on the northern coast. What the? Okay. Sure, why not? We love fishing in the Arctic. Let's make sure Atlanta is founded so that we waste the only fish resource up here. We have very carefully positioned our cities so that none of them get the fish. Okay, so yeah. Fun times. But yeah, that's apparently a thing. Anyway. All right, well, it's about to be turn 50. I think right now I'm interested to see where Boudica sends her settler. Darius has connected his copper, and he's, I think, the first one to be able to build axes. So Boudica is marching south right now with these settlers. So far, her religion has not spread to anyone. And it's turn 50. There, she just planted 1 more city there. All right, let's refresh the map. Get a nice overview screenshot. That 3rd religion is still out there and has not been claimed by anyone. In terms of score, like right now, Boudica's score looks pretty good, but that's inflated just by having all that holy city culture. Oh, apparently I can't really get a good zoom out screenshot. This is like the best I can do here. So like I think Darius is off to a good start. I think Hammurabi's off to a good start. Boudica, I think this is a little deceptive. I mean, she does have a size 7 city here, but like she still doesn't even have any roads. She has no cottages. She has no roads. Her economy has to be pretty bad. All right, our research rate. Darius. This is a little deceptive because Darius is running gold to upgrade his. Apparently, he's upgrading warriors into axes right now for some reason. So he can actually run much higher than that on the slider. But anyway, he's at 17. Charlie's at 10. But his 17 is really probably like 25. All right, Charlie's at 10. Boudica's at 15. Hammurabi's at 22. Yeah, I think that Hammurabi and Darius are like co-tech leaders. Peter's at 7. That's not good. Ramsey's at 16, although he's actually slightly losing gold there. And Roosevelt's at 10, and Barbarian's at 0. In terms of our graphs, GMP, looks like Hammurabi and Darius and Ramses are the GMP leaders. Again, Boudica is tops early, but this is all culture, no research. Peter is below the observer civ. That's not good. Production, Roosevelt, somewhat surprisingly leading, but it's pretty close at the moment. Food, pretty close. Not really a big leader. I will say Peter's last, but not really a big edge there. Power, it looks like Hammurabi and Darius are tops powers, and then culture. You can see where Hammurabi built Stonehenge overall. Yeah, Peter it's not going great for Peter at the moment. Not looking so hot there. I like the fact that Hammurabi is still pretty isolated. He still has a lot of room to expand. And Ramsey still has some room in the north. Darius has some room in the south. Peter actually has some room, but like Charlemagne is pretty much out, and Roosevelt does not have a ton of room either. We know that Boudica is about to found a city down here in the. Oh, Boudica, that was not where you wanted to go. It's not what you want, girl. Yeah, that's a lot of jungle there, but at least it does push her towards the center of the map. Okay, Roosevelt has picked up Charlemagne's religion, so those two will be BFF as expected. Oh, we should look at the relation screen real quick. Charlemagne does not like Boudica. That's about the only real thing I can see so far. Peter's worst enemy of Roosevelt. Roosevelt's worst enemy of Boudica and Peter. And she's worst enemy of Charlemagne overall. City spot to die for. It does have 4 dies. Although I think the top, well, 3. Tolosa has the top die. Anyway. So I think at the moment I'm more interested to just see where people are expanding. All right, Peter does not have a settler on the map. Charlemagne, I believe, does. No, that's a worker. Okay, he does have a settler on the map. Where's this one going? He's apparently going to go found something on the eastern seaboard. No settlers for Roosevelt. Boudica, I think, just finished another... No, that's a worker. Well, Boudica's economy is kind of in the toilet right now. I guess she's hanging in there. Darius is still upgrading units for some unknown reason. Is this a... There's another settler for Ramses. Let's see where this one's going. Okay. Not quite where I would have picked, but sure, why not? When it pops borders, it has fish, and it will connect iron for him, so I guess that's something. We might be seeing Hammurabi on a monotheism push here. Yep, he's going for monotheism, which is not a surprise. He already had masonry. So he's probably going to found a religion down here. Yeah, who needs roads if you have rivers everywhere? I mean, Boudica still... She's technically leading in score, but that's largely because she has the Holy City that's grabbing her a ton of tiles and monuments to pop the borders everywhere else. I don't think her actual position is that strong right now. We're about to see a city on the coast here from Charlemagne. There you go. Needs the border pop to be even remotely useful. I'd say this dude does not have a lot of land. Peter is looking very, very weak. Still on 4 cities. Although I guess Hammurabi's also still on 4 cities. And now Hammurabi's building the Great Wall. Fortunately for him, the Great Wall is going to finish up there, so he won't waste too much time on it. Although there is another settler going this way. Maybe he's finally going to grab the gold tile. Alright, he grabbed the gold tile. Darius, open borders, sure. Now, does Darius have another city on the way? Darius also, he does have another city on the way. Also building the Great Wall. A lot of people on the Great Wall here. My main concern for Darius is not his position right now. It's just, is he going to be able to scale long term? Because I'm worried he gets stuck on like 7 cities and like Hammurabi's on like 10 or 11, which I think is a real possibility in this game. Is Peter broke? Probably. I think he has a set. Does he have a settler out? He has a settler that he finished. I mean, he's running 50% science. He just finished a settler too. Who's winning the Great Wall race? It's going to finish right up here. It's going to finish in New York. Peter is probably, or Roosevelt's probably one of the ones who least needs this wonder, but he's going to be the one to finish it. Right? No, Ramses finished it. Whoa. I was not expecting that. I guess that was close. That's a same turn wonder finishing, and Ramses wins the tiebreaker by virtue of being slightly higher in name. I thought Roosevelt had it. I didn't realize Ramses was that close. Tiebreaker there. I don't even know if that wonder is that useful. He built it in the... I guess it's slightly more useful for him. And he did merge the first Great Prophet into his capital as a super specialist. Long-term stuff here, the fact that Ramses has not founded any religions means we're very unlikely to go to a cultural finish in this game unless he would conquer a bunch of holy cities. Because he's like the only person in this game, I think, who has double cultural traits. I think he's the only one with double cultural traits, and he hasn't founded even one religion. So it's very unlikely anyone's going to go for a cultural victory from here. Because like Hammurabi has no cultural traits. Darius has 1. He has financial. But it's probably not that likely. So anyway, everybody gets a bunch of fail gold for the wonder finishing, and yeah. So I guess the next thing is we're going to see the religion pop up soon in one of the Babylonian cities. And Peter has a settler that's... I guess Peter really wants to make this symmetrical Russia here. He really wanted to make symmetrical Russia. He just needed Rostov to be 1 tile further east for the perfect symmetrical Russia. He's having a bit of a rough go, I have to say. Can we see the new Darius city? Yeah, good call. This one doesn't really have any food bonuses. Does Darius have anything that provides culture yet? He has writing. He skipped mysticism. He just went to writing. I mean, that's one way to get culture. Sure, why not? Question is, can Darius like break out of this little trap here? Can he get anything further east? Because he's got 5 cities. They don't look bad. But will he get stuck here? Like, will Ramses try to dump a city like here and cut him off? Because if Ramses dumps a city like right here or something, I realize that there's like very few resources in this area. It's going to be rough going. There's also down to just 2 archers in this city. So some of these barb archers have died to something. And there's only 3 of them in this city. So something's been killing. Although this barb archer is pretty promoted. So we got to keep an eye on the barb cities too. So Hinduism here. So we have 2 religions in the center of the map and then 1 on the far eastern side. Where that religion spreads is going to be real interesting as well. If Boudica desperately needs people to spread into her Islamic religion. If she can't make religious allies, she's going to be in really trouble. Well, by the way, thanks for resubscribing, Dark Kuno. Good spot for the Holy City, yeah, definitely. It'll pop the borders, grab more territory, and it's in well positioned to spread. So we talked about how Boudica has her Holy City on this river network. Let me get rid of that culture for a second. This city is also well connected to this river network because there's already roads running right here. Although I don't think Hammurabi has sailing tech yet to unlock movement on rivers. All right, so Peter is still weak. Roosevelt has apparently a settler about to grab the middle of the map here. Oh, going far afield. Okay. Really pushing the tempo here. Now Hammurabi's probably going to go for Oracle. Probably. And oh, look at this. Just founded a city right here. That's... oh, wow. With a 0.83 health bowman. I mean, I like this city. not a lot of resources, but a lot of floodplains there. Already has a cottage. Yeah, I mean, and certainly makes this. Well, if Hammurabi gets this spot, then he's looking nice. If somebody else gets this, then it's going to be a little bit ugly for him. Roosevelt, about to grab the center of the map. Where is he sending this? Trying to make sure we're not missing anybody else with settlers en route. Darius, I think, just finished a settler. Is that one up there? Yes, Darius is. Okay. And I thought, and there's a, okay, this could be a big settling race. Because Darius has one here, and Ramses has one in here. But for the moment, let's see where Roosevelt plants his city. Okay, Roosevelt. I mean, he wanted the copper. I get it. He wants the copper. And he didn't want to put it in the desert, so I get it. But, like, Peter is running out of space. Also, another city from Hammurabi, the double settlers, and another settler here. Those of you who picked Hammurabi like me, he's looking pretty good here. Doing what he needs to do. Plus, he's going to have silver in another 84 turns. Also, the heavy axes are, I mean, he has good odds to take this Barb city, too, because of all the axes he's building. All right. Most important thing, I think, for right now is this settler race. We got a real settler race here. Settler, settler. Who's going to get this spot? Darius has turn order advantage. So if it comes down to the same turn, Darius will be more likely to get the spot. I think it's more important for Darius because Ramses has more opportunities to expand. Also, there's a very high chance Ramses will end up in a conflict with Boudica later. But for Darius, if he doesn't get out of this box, he's going to be on a relatively small size. All right. Or he could just do that, I suppose. I don't hate it. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I mean, 6 cities with room for 2 or 3 more. I don't hate it. I think that that's better than not getting a spot and, like, being greedy. And it looks like Ramses might be headed in a different direction, too. Yeah, a lot could come down. Who gets this Barb city is really important. Although at the moment, it looks like Hammurabi is attacking this one. Although Ramses could snipe it with these... Like, there's only 2 archers here. So, like, let's say Hammurabi attacks and there's, like, 1 archer left with... you know, 0.5 health. Ramses could easily snipe this. Let's see. Well, the answer is neither of them attacked so far. Where did that Ramses... Okay, yeah, Ramses has 2 settlers up here. 2 of them. He's also stuck on 5 cities at the moment. And Boudica planted another city up north in the Arctic. She did finally get wheel tech, so she's been building roads. Problem for her is she apparently doesn't have any strategic resources. Now, where are her strategic resources? I know she has some. Well, there's iron over here. Horses just outside the range of her territory. She's connecting the gold. Iron just... Okay, she will have iron and horses, no problem, pretty soon. And Ramses is building the pyramids to no surprise. It looks like he is probably the front runner for that. Over here, I'm trying to see if there's any more. Charlemagne has a settler pushing south. Peter's almost out of room to expand. I guess he has room for another. Does he have any settlers out? He has 1 right here. Okay, and I don't know where Hammurabi is sending these units. Ramses, did you... Ramses apparently decided to send his settler to the Arctic. He apparently... Yeah, so that's just Darius decisively winning the settler race there. So Darius does have a little window into the middle of the map, which could end up being really significant. Hard to say. There's a... Wait, what the... There's an unescorted settler up here? Here's another settling race between Hammurabi and Peter. Interesting. Let's see. Hammurabi moves first in turn order. Let's see who gets this. Oh, Hammurabi claims the spot. Ramses took a spot in the far, far north. Now, if this doesn't get attacked, it's a bit of a bold spot to claim, but if it doesn't get attacked, could be really strong. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 cities now, plus room for at least 2 more backfills and probably another city over here. Hammurabi definitely has a lot of room. Peter looks... I'm liking the Peter first to die more and more. I'm saying that he's diplomatically unpopular. He's stuck on 5 cities. I mean, I'm just saying. Yeah, especially if Peter would get Boudica's religion. I'm liking the Peter first to die here. Darius somehow has slipped down to next to last in score. I don't know how that happened. Because I get, oh, you know what it is? His cities are just really small. I don't know why he's having so much trouble growing pop in his cities. Oh, it's also because he hasn't popped borders. He was very slow to get the border expansions. That's the other reason why. Does Peter have metals? Oh, good question. He has iron, so whenever he researches iron working, he'll be okay. But for the moment, he does not. He will need to research iron working. Man, his teching is so bad in this game. There is the potential that if he doesn't get metals connected, he could get taken out before he has metals connected, I suppose. Because right now he just has a bunch of chariots running around. Yeah, where did that settler go? Did he just turn it around? Where is his settler? Oh, he ran it all the way back into Novgorod. Okay, wow. Huh. Yeah, he just ran it all the way back into Novgorod. That's not good for him. Boudica grabbed another spot up here, and Charlemagne grabbed the spot way down here in the south. But I think Peter's pretty cooked in this game. He's not looking so hot right now. Boudica is still tops in score, and like she's not doing badly. She just settled on the silver. We know the AI loves to settle on the gold and silver resources. Like she's not doing badly. I'm just long term. I don't really see how she keeps up economically, but she has claimed a lot of territory, so I shouldn't be so down on her. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 cities. A lot of river tiles. Still has room for some more expansion. This area up here is available. It's also going to be interesting to see what happens when these barb cities start getting taken out. This one is only 2 archers as well. That could be a big pickup for somebody. And then over here, Zapotec still just has the 2. Okay, yeah. It does make you wonder sometimes why like the AIs that are building a lot of units are not just going and taking the barb cities. You would think they would just go do that. But no. Let's just see real quick if anybody's war plotting. I would be shocked if they were, but I'll just do a quick check. All right, I was terrified that this guy was war plotting, which is the best way for him to throw a game, but he is not, fortunately. Nope. Again, I would be surprised if anyone was. Nope. 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 Okay, no one's plotting war. What is Darius teching? Good question. Nothing. Apparently just polytheism. Yeah, it's kind of rare to see someone just go for that and like nothing behind it. All right, Darius grabs a city on the southwest coast. Charlemagne apparently very belatedly gets to bronze working. And didn't Peter have a settler over here? All right, here it is. Is he going to settle that spot there? Okay, well, that's a bit of an I mean, it's got ivory, but like this city has Stonehenge, free culture. Peter still does not have mysticism, right? Yeah, he still doesn't have mysticism. He can't pop borders. So this city's going to expand borders soon and grab a couple of these tiles. And like he's screwed. Where can he go? Like what can he do from this point? There's nowhere to go. I guess maybe one city on the coast here, but like that's it. He's just pretty freaking screwed. Also, why is this capital why has he double whipped his capital here? What the heck? I guess he whipped out a settler, but like, dude, you got all this early happiness resource. What are you doing? Anyway, is this a Boudica settler? All right, Boudica's gonna settle along the border here. Okay, she's pushed this city pretty far south. Ramses does get the pyramids, very thematically appropriate. Hammurabi on monarchy. He's gonna have so much happiness. Who has hereditary rule as their favorite civic in this game? Tends to be one of the more popular favorites. No one has hereditary rule as their favorite civic. Wow, that's rare. Normally, multiple people have that as their favorite civic, but no one does in this game. And Darius is on monarchy as well. Yeah, Darius needs this a lot more than Hammurabi. Darius is lacking in happiness resources. Hammurabi has a lot of happiness. So that'll be a bigger benefit for, as you said, Darius. Anyway, these are I'm continuing to try to check to see if anyone's taking the barb cities. This one's on a hill, so this one's going to be really hard to kill. But like this one, Anastasi is much more available for taking. Hammurabi and Peter both share bureaucracy. I mean, that could be nice, but that assumes Peter ever gets to bureaucracy, which I don't know if he's ever going to make it there in this game. I'm not sure. I just don't know if he can make it there that far. Boudica is still leading the game in score, and like that, we're at a point in time in the game where like that is starting to become pretty relevant. If she had a better Ramses, why? Ramses, what are you doing, man? Ramses, like, come on, buddy. what is this? Um, my more concern for Boudica is just the low piece weight means it's going to be. There's a good chance that like people will just dislike her a lot, especially because she's probably going to start wars with people, and then that'll get her more diplomatic minuses. Darius, did he just stop plotting? He's probably going for barbs, but yeah, he's probably just going for barb cities, probably. And I mean, if he's smart, he would just go slam his immortals over here. Ramsey's starting a war. I mean, not yet, but that seems designed to cause border tension and aggression. And Peter doing the same thing, but Peter's not in any position to start conflicts. You know, Roosevelt actually, he could be, he's not plotting a war right now, but he does have stuff connected. He should just build swords and go take this. This Barb City is not very well defended. I continue to be surprised that this Barb City over here has not been attacked more seriously by Hammurabi. Does he have a settler? He's apparently going to go settle the Arctic down here. He's got another settler down here. I mean, for the AI, cities like this are pretty much like pure positive to just found these. It's deity. Like, they're very cheap. They get the trade routes. I mean, it costs 4 maintenance. Like, it's pretty much just all positive right now. That's like, so right now, Hammurabi's economy is not that great because he's got so many cities, but like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. He's also probably going to get the Oracle here as well. Is anyone else building Oracle? I see Temple of Artemis. Oh no, Hammurabi's going to beat him to the Oracle. Or Ramses is going to beat him to the Oracle. Apparently the Oracle is very popular right now, since it hasn't been claimed by anyone. Also, look at up here, the lack of happiness is really, really hurting Roosevelt. He'd actually be doing a lot better if he just had some happiness. But all of his resources seem to be calendar resources. He wasn't able to. Yeah, I mean, there's a gold 1 tile outside his borders, so I don't feel too sorry for him. But he definitely could have done more there. He also founded this a little while back, and I missed it. Anyway, yeah, I'm continuing to try to watch these Barb cities because I feel like they should start getting captured soon, but we haven't really seen people go after them. I'm also curious to see what Ramses ends up trying to grab here. Looks like he's going to get another city over here. Somewhere up here in the Arctic. I still can't believe he founded this. All right, Ramses picks up Hammurabi's religion. And Ramses finishes the Oracle. Now, he'll probably just convert over to his religion. We actually have 4 separate religions. So what did he slingshotted what? He slingshotted Code of Laws. We have 4 separate religions here, all self-founded. If that's actually kind of bad for Hammurabi, because if he had managed to keep Ramses in his religion, that would be a lot better. Not good for Boudica, though, that her neighbor to the... Let me turn off the resources. Her neighbor to the west is going to have their own religion. Her neighbor to the south has their own religion. Over here, these two seem like they'll be Christian buddies. I don't know where Boudica gets allies. Like I said, I don't think she's first to die. And she has a lot of territory. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 cities. I'm just struggling to see how she makes friends in this game. Darius also just founded Sardis. That's 8 cities. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Not bad. Pretty good land grab. Pretty good land grab overall. I'm not sure he can expand too much further. If he gets like another core's worth of cities, he will be unstoppable. He will win this map. But I think he's not as well positioned to expand as some of these other AI leaders. Anyway, so a lot of fail gold for everybody from the Oracle. Boudica's going to say, who needs friends? Well, I mean, maybe. She's going to have to do a pretty impressive job of running over everybody, though. It's not impossible. What she'd have to do is take out somebody. I think Ramses would probably be the easiest target. She'd have to like take out Ramses, and then from there just start snowballing. It's not impossible. She is on early math. All right, she's going for calendar, but that does leave her 1 tech away from construction, and she does need calendar. Well, she actually has 3 happiness resources, but calendar gives her even more happiness. Look at poor Peter over here. Peter still does not have medals, by the way. I want to point this out. Peter is like a sitting duck. He has no medals. He won't plot war without medals, but somebody else could sure plot against him. And then also want to keep an eye on the Barb cities because they still want to see if like this Barb city still has not really come under attack, even though there's like axes walking around over here. Darius just finished Monarchy, and this Barb city also just has a handful. This Barb city has actually gotten attacked, but all it's done is promote one of the archers. And then aren't there 5 Barb cities? Where's the last one that we're missing? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Oh, this one, Harappan over here. Okay, this one's actually seen some real attacks. Look at this big stack. I should have been paying more attention to this. A lot of now chariots do not do much against archers on a hill. Look at how they promoted the top archer to Gorilla too. But this city's actually taken some real aggression so far. And now Ramses has got another great prophet, so he'll probably just shrine Taoism, and then that could allow Taoism to become a dominant religion. Hard to say. So the map seems pretty stable. We're probably not going to see too much more happen until the first wars break out. It's certainly been an interesting opening. Most of the map's been settled at this point. I think for the moment I'm most interested in watching this to see if Charlemagne can capture this Barb city. He attacked and killed something. All right, Ramses also builds Temple of Artemis. Okay, he does love his wonders, doesn't he? Did he shrine his... Did he use his great prophet? Nope, it's about to shrine his city here. Okay. So he will almost certainly swap into that religion soon. Now Hammurabi's going to shrine his city as well, because he just got a great prophet too from his Stonehenge build. So he'll shrine he'll use that on the Hindu shrine. Literally on like the next turn, I suspect we're about to see. Did he build it? Yep. Back-to-back shrines here. All right, there's Darius converting to Taoism as expected. Oh wait, no, that's Darius. Uh-oh. Uh-oh, I don't know if that's good or bad for Darius. At the moment, now, if Ramses flips into Taoism as expected, he's got an ally. If he stays in a religion no one else practices, could get uglier. Ramses founding a religion is actually kind of bad for Hammurabi, because if these two just stick in Hinduism, the two of them could pretty easily just go 1-2 in this game and just be like Hindu buddies. But I think Ramses will swap to his own religion, because there's a strong pressure for the AI to adopt religions that they have self-founded. It's even stronger if they have the shrine for it. So I'm pretty sure he'll swap into that, but who knows? Darius and Ramses live and die together now? Quite possibly. Darius just found another city on the southern coast. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. All right, he got 9 cities. I didn't know if he'd get that many. He's looking good. He's in it. I know his score is low, but he's in it still, in a way that Peter is not. I think Hammurabi, Ramses, Boudica, and Darius are still very much in it. I'm a lot more down on Roosevelt. I don't think he's as strong as some of these others. Hammurabi's the one who's supposed to have Code of Laws, not Ramses. I know, right? Okay. So it looks like we're starting to see some more activity against the Barb cities here, because Ramses is bringing a war chariot, and I see some axes and chariots. Also more Hindu missionaries running around. Did Darius found on the gold? No, he didn't. Next to the gold. Next to the gold. And then this Barb city over here actually is getting close to falling. There's only 3 archers left, and they're injured at this point. So who gets this one? Charlemagne, Roosevelt, Peter has some chariots that can try to snipe it. Peter desperately needs more cities. Peter! Whoa, the Peter snipe with the chariots. And he converts to Christianity, Charlemagne's religion. Probably not the person most likely to get that Barb city. Always the RNG factors in this game. Okay, well, that's something for him. It's something. I would say if Charlemagne did most of the work, as I understand it, Charlie getting that city would have been pretty bad for Peter. Symmetrical Russia was already broken by this city over here. Anyway, Ramses is settled about as aggressively as you possibly can with Boudica up here. So now I think we're kind of watching to see who gets these Barb cities that are the remaining ones. How about the ones in the middle of the map? This Scythian has not really come under attack. Anastasi's not really come under attack. But Zapotec and Vandal look like they're more vulnerable. Again, there's only 2 archers here. Let me just see if anyone's actively attacking these cities right now. There's only 1 archer left in Vandal, although for some reason there's now a combat 3 archer over here by Civ4. Still, I have to feel like this is going to get taken by Hammurabi. I'm less certain that Hammurabi gets Zapotec, though. All right, did the War Chariot... The War Chariot apparently attacked and didn't survive. There's 2 archers here. Yeah, there's only 2 archers in this city, and there is an axe and chariot, and axe and multiple chariots coming over. We'll see if this falls. We also should probably check to see if anyone's war plotting. Okay, Hammurabi is not. Boudica, somewhat surprisingly, is not. You would think by now she would be. Nope. Darius? Nope. Not a lot of war plotting so far. Nope. Pretty peaceful game so far. Nope. And Peter doesn't have metals connected yet. Did he manage to get metals from that city? No, just barely outside the range of his cities. Peter, oh, never mind. He's researching ironworking, so he will have metals connected. So that's a plus. He won't be a total won't be totally out of option there. We had a request from Middle Eastern Axeman. There you go. I'm assuming this is what you're looking for here. Let's see. Are these cities going to get attacked? It looks like Vandal. I don't think Vandal is going to be able to survive quite this many. All right. There's Ramses going to Taoism, as expected. You had to think he was going to flip into his religion. So, religiously, yeah. See, this is the problem for Boudica. She's annoyed with Darius. She's annoyed with Hammurabi. She's annoyed with Roosevelt. She's -3 with Ramses, so that's probably going to drop soon, too. And then if you feel... Here's how people... I guess, so far, nobody's annoyed with her, but I do see a lot of minuses on the screen here. That said, she is still not anybody's worst enemy. Actually, well, Roosevelt's the worst enemy of Boudica. That would be bad for her if she went over and attacked Roosevelt. She has bigger fish to fry at the moment. Is Vandal going to fall here? Yes, okay. Hammurabi picks up another city. He also found... I should have mentioned that he founded that city as well. Roosevelt... Okay, that's a nice build for Roosevelt, the Great Lighthouse. He actually has a lot of coastal cities. 4 coastal cities on a Pangea map, that's non-trivial. So that's a lot of extra income rolling in for Roosevelt there. Now the question is who's going to get this city. Zapotec still just has the 2 defenders. I will say it's bad news for the field if Hammurabi gets that spot too. Darius really should take this. I mean, he has an immortal over here. He's got to look at this stack. Darius, take this stack and send it here. This is a very important city for you to control, Darius. Go grab this. Like, just come take it. It's just kind of hilarious looking at the minimap and seeing this giant purple blob compared to like this tiny red area over here. I mean, we keep making fun of Peter. Charlemagne is not much better. He only has 6 cities. It's not a good setup, not a strong setup for him here. Yeah, Ramses has ended up with more than I thought just because he was so aggressive with his city plants. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Of course, some of these are pretty low quality. He has size 1 Byblos that literally can't even grow to size 2. Size 1 Akhenaten, which is very slowly growing. And size 1 Giza, which he's hacking out of the jungle. So some pretty low quality cities, but he does have them. Did Vice President Nance Garner, help Roosevelt pass the Lighthouse Project? All right, Darius Hanging Gardens. That's a nice pickup too. Definitely boosts his score. Not bad, not bad. And Roosevelt goes hereditary rule. Still far, no one's still going for this Barb city. Scythian still seems to be hanging in there, and Anastasi is not... Actually, I guess Roosevelt's starting to attack there. Looks like Roosevelt killed... Oh, no, never mind. Whatever attacked the archer just promoted it. I guess whatever sword attacked. Still, Roosevelt seems to be making a real play for this. That would be a nice pickup for him. Kind of get him past this little border region with the desert and mountains. That would certainly be nice. I still don't really see anything attacking Zapotec. I don't really understand why... Oh, what happened to these warriors? Why are these warriors damaged? Did something attack Zapotec there? I don't really know what's going on there. Oh, here comes some Ramses, a sword and a war chariot. Maybe they can take this city. And then Roosevelt has some swords trying to take Anastasi. Since no one's war plotting, we might as well watch them attacking the barbs. All right, it looks like Roosevelt's going to get this because he has some healthy units. There's only... well, I guess there's... If this barb moves back into the city, maybe it can hold another turn. Boudica's on construction. That's true. Ramses is also on construction, though. All right, so a nice pickup for Roosevelt. Definitely helps him out. Oh, wait, that's actually 2 barb cities falling. And this is a little unfortunate for Darius, who apparently had a big stack of immortals coming over. So Ramses gets this. That's going to be really interesting when the borders expand, because they'll pop out to here. It's actually going to be possible for Egypt to like almost completely block Darius out. So Darius does look like he's going to be locked in here with 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Wait, is that 10 cities? 2, 6, 8. All right, 10 cities. That might be enough. Darius is financial. That might actually be enough for him to win the game. Maybe. Is the theology religion still available? Yes. I believe it is. Are we going to have 5 self-founded religions? I believe the theology religion is still there. I think we're going to have 5 self-founded religions in this game, which is just wild. Financial Alive, overrated. No, it was taken by... the religion was sniped by Ramses. Okay. So Ramses did end up with 2 self-founded religions. So that's going to deny Darius at the last second there. No religion. Okay. All right. Well, now the map is mostly settled. I think there's just about out of room for everybody. Yeah, I don't really see many spots more where people could put cities down. It's pretty much all claimed. Maybe someone can get a city in this border region. But that does seem to be about it. How many cities did Hammurabi end up with? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12 cities? Wow. Not bad. My picks are looking dangerously fine. I know. I don't know how to explain it. I'm worried too. Anyway, anybody plotting war? Not you. Not you. Boudica? Darius? Nope. Nope. Roosevelt? Up. Roosevelt says, yes, please. And Peter is not. Who does Roosevelt like the least? Well, he's cautious. He will declare war at pleased. So, like, Charlemagne is not technically safe. I don't know. He does have border tension with Charlemagne. It's not impossible that he's going to try to attack Charlie. It's not out of the question. I will say if he would attack Peter, though, then Peter is like 100% guaranteed to be first to die, because someone else will probably jump in at some point. Well, we should try to find his stack. Where's the American stack building? Scythian is also under attack, but it's going to be harder to get through the city on a hill barb defenses. I don't see a big American. I guess here. I mean, that could be targeted. It could be targeted against Peter. It could be targeted against Charlemagne. Peter's the worst enemy of Hammurabi. That is not a good sign for him. That one of the game leaders is... All right, well, look. All right, this is going this way. I will say, if Roosevelt runs across the map to go attack Hammurabi, I'm going to be so pissed off. If he torpedoes Hammurabi's very, very strong game by running across the map to attack someone that he has no border tension with, I'm going to be so pissed. Because, like, why would he run across the map and attack Hammurabi? They have no border tension. They have nothing in contact with each other. Well, I mean, this stack is right here. We'll see. That's just like the way my luck would go in this game. Like, I have clearly identified Peter as the weakest leader. Like, there's no question Peter is the weakest leader on this map. That doesn't mean he's guaranteed to be first to die, but I have definitely picked the weakest leader. Hammurabi is coming out of the land grab phase with the highest score. Again, no guarantee he wins from here, but I think he actually does have the strongest position. So, like, if some bizarre cross-map invasion torpedoes my picks yet again, I don't have anything to say beyond that. Anyway, GMP, it looks like Darius and Hammurabi are tops in GMP, followed by Ramses. No big surprise there. Production's pretty even overall. Food, Hammurabi's first. The trailers are Peter and Charlemagne. Power, Hammurabi's first. Charlie is in last. Peter was last for a while, but is slowly climbing. Culturally, Hammurabi's first. And Ramses has built some wonders recently. Is it across the map? Well, they have 0 border. They have not even one tile that overlaps. And one capital is here, and one capital is here. I'd say that's pretty much a cross-map invasion. I don't know. We'll see. Let's watch where the stack goes. I'm just worried that this is racing to go attack Hammurabi. Please look at the culture graph and see Peter versus the Observer Civ. Okay. I mean, I literally just showed this graph. Yeah. Peter. Well, Peter had no culture, so he only just was able to build culture. All right. Darius goes Hindu. So a couple things happening here. Boudica gets the last Barb city. So the Barbs are all gone now. And Darius just flipped into the same religion as Hammurabi. So instead of now Ramses and Darius having the same religion, now it's Hammurabi and Darius having the same religion. It looks like Hammurabi's been doing a pretty diligent job of spreading Hinduism. Taoism, yeah, Taoism is just not as... I mean, it's a more recent religion, so it's not as well spread. Hinduism's in quite a few cities. So he's been spreading that religion pretty determinedly. All right, where is that American? It looks like the Americans are building their stack over here. There's certainly some units over here. All right, now that's a nice wonder for Ramses. Mausoleum is obviously the extended Golden Ages are super nice. I'm a little surprised that Boudica and Ramses don't have more tension at the moment. What is their relationship? So Boudica does not like pretty much anyone else. Surprisingly, there's only Cautious, and Ramses is... Where's Ramses? He's more upset with Roosevelt than he is with Boudica, despite all the close border tension. I'm a little surprised at that. Interesting. Yeah, Ramses' culture victory is not out of the question. That's true. He could get a couple more religions. I'm still watching this stack. I swear to God, if this is headed to go attack Hammurabi, I'm going to be so annoyed. Now, Peter went Hinduism as well. Well, I guess that makes sense. He does have Hammurabi right on his borders. I mean, Hammurabi's done about everything you possibly could do right in this opening. Expanded well, founded a religion, made several allies to that religion. So, like, there's American units here. I'm just wondering if they're going anywhere. Yeah, the Kashi Vishwanath is I believe it has 21 cities founding the religion. I believe it's the world's most, yeah, definitely the world's most spread religion in this game. What is Roosevelt trying to do here? He definitely has a stack here, but, like, is it going to Novgorod? Does it want to go to Mari? Does it want to go to the Celts? There's a lot of different... I mean, he's cautious with almost all these leaders, so it's really hard to say where he's trying to go with this stack. And it's a really consequential decision in this game. Anyone else plotting war? All right, well, apparently Hammurabi is plotting war. Ramses is not. Darius is not. Boudica is plotting war. So there's definitely going to be stuff going on soon. Hammurabi has a lot of chariots for some reason. He is researching construction, so he'll have catapults. If Hammurabi's smart, he'll wait until after he finishes construction before attacking. He doesn't need horseback riding to build elephants. Boudica, where is she building her force? It looks like it's over here. Now, Boudica does not like Darius, does not like Hammurabi, does not like Roosevelt. This game could play out in so many different ways depending on how these wars break out. Like, who gets caught in a 2v1, who gets dogpiled. There's so many ways that these conflicts could play out. A lot of this does come down to just the randomness of how the conflicts begin and how they end, that kind of thing. So we'll just have to see what happens. But Roosevelt definitely has a stack building here, and there's a Boudica stack right here. Watch, with my luck, it's going to end up in a situation where, like, Hammurabi was plotting with Peter, and then Hammurabi gets attacked by Roosevelt and Boudica on, like, the next turn. something like that's going to happen. I just can feel it. Roosevelt could end up in a 1v2. I know Roosevelt was a very popular pick for first to die. I don't think, I mean, he, like, clearly if you knew the map state the game was in, you would not pick Roosevelt to be first to die. You also wouldn't pick Boudica to be first to die. Like, Peter is such a weak leader. He probably should be first to die, but that doesn't mean he will be. So anyway, yeah, I'm just... Oh, no, it is Peter. Oh! Am I actually going to have a pick work out for once? Am I actually going to have a pick work in my favor? Oh, interesting. All right. Yeah, Roosevelt could easily end up in a 2v1 here, because Boudica might be plotting against him. All right. I don't know if that was the best target, but because Roosevelt doesn't... I don't think he has... construction yet. Yeah, he's not going to do anything on his own, but if anyone else jumps into this war, Peter is very, very dead if anyone else jumps into this war, which could easily happen because Peter's not that well liked in this world. Here's how people feel about. So yeah, well, everybody else in the game is cautious. No one's annoyed, but everybody else is cautious with him. And let's see. Darius and Hammurabi are like the two that like each other. I guess there's others that like each other. Where's the biggest plus? Hammurabi, yeah, the +5, that's like the biggest number on the board right now. Oh no, there's a +7. Never mind, Roosevelt, so like Roosevelt and Charlemagne are buds, and then I guess Darius and Hammurabi are buds. The Charlemagne is in a pretty weak position. Maybe Roosevelt gets Charlemagne to join him in this war. Anyway, we'll watch the conflict that's going on right now. Yeah, Roosevelt just got construction. He was researching it. He doesn't have it right now, but he was researching it. I mean, he is not capturing this city without catapults. Just that's not happening. Boudica, where is Hearst? Oh, Boudica has a stack right here. This definitely looks like it's headed for Hammurabi, but I don't know if... Does Boudica have catapults? Does Boudica have construction? She does. Okay. Sure looks like this is coming for Hammurabi, which could mean a dog pile on Boudica, but it also could mean that maybe she captures some territory. All right, there it is. Also, a Barb city just popped up there. All right, so Boudica gives us war number 2. Both of the low peace weight AIs immediately getting into the action. Peter, unsurprisingly, fights off the initial Roosevelt attack because he went in without catapults. Problem for Peter is he has just so few cities. He only has 7 cities. Although I guess Roosevelt only has 4, 5, 6, only has 8 cities, so it's not that big of a difference. All right, well, if Boudica is going to make this game happen, this is how she has to make it work. She has to take out somebody. I'm a little concerned, though, that she's attacking the strongest AI in the game, and there's every reason to believe that Hammurabi can pull in allies. Hammurabi's about to research feudalism, too. Still has not picked up horseback riding for elephants. Boudica, they're basically at the same tech level, though. They both have, like, all the ancient era units. And Boudica, she does have ivory. Did she get horseback riding for elephants? She did. Okay, well, that's an advantage. She can build elephants. Hammurabi does not have them yet. Oh, we should need to check the power graph too. But Hammurabi's just so large. I don't know. Could be tricky to pull off an invasion against someone that's that large. They're pretty even in power. Yeah, they're the top. They're top 2 in power. 2 of the strongest civs going at it right now. The winner, if there's a decisive winner in this clash, they're probably going to run over the rest of the game. So what would be most likely to affect that would be someone else incoming into this conflict. So how do people feel about Hammurabi? Well, Boudica hates him. Charlemagne doesn't like him, but that seems unlikely. Ramses is pleased. Ramses will not attack Hammurabi. That seems significant. And Darius is also pleased. Darius also will not attack Hammurabi. They both do not declare it pleased. So Hammurabi is 100% safe from Darius or Ramses joining this war. Now, how about Boudica? Well, cautious, and Ramses is also cautious. So, yeah, they could both declare war. Ramses in particular, because he's got all the border tension. Darius is not plotting war, though. And then Charlemagne would be much more likely to join his BFF, Roosevelt. Where's Charlemagne on here? Yeah, he will never declare war on Roosevelt. He also doesn't declare it, please. But he's annoyed with Peter. Peter, you're in some trouble, buddy. I know that Charlemagne is not war plotting right now. But, I mean, there's really nowhere else Charlemagne can go. He can't declare war on Roosevelt. Who else is he going to go to war with? There's, like, literally no one else he could fight with. So I am concerned long-term about both Peter and Boudica for that reason. Right now, this initial clash doesn't seem to have done anything too significant. And Hammurabi, with his weird aggressive trait, actually does get the free promotions on his melee units, interestingly enough. Over here, a lot of great generals being born, but no territory, notably. Yeah, I was checking over here. The reason why I was over on the other side is that I didn't see anything really happening in this war. A lot of great generals being born, but not much. I will say it's probably good for Darius that, like, a conflict is going on elsewhere that he doesn't have to worry about. This Barb City is probably not going to survive the size 2, so it'll likely just get auto-raised. I have no idea how this thing even spawned in the first place. One thing about Boudica, though, she will keep attacking. She's not going to call off the dogs. She will keep sending units to attack again and again, even if that's not the best idea. Who's getting the... Is anyone getting an upper hand in these early trades, just out of curiosity? Okay. Looks like Hammurabi traded a bit better than Boudica there. Looks like Peter traded a bit better than Roosevelt did. There's another Barb City somewhere else? No, there's just the one that we mentioned. I mentioned that a while ago. Hammurabi's a decent unit spammer. Yeah, he does seem to be still keeping up the units reasonably well. He's also... Okay, he's very wisely picking up horseback riding for elephants as well. I don't think either side can break through in a 1v1 here. I think that they're too evenly matched for that to be too likely. Yeah, that's a lot of units on both sides here. It is also hard to invade enemy territory. Like, it is just harder to attack into culture. All right, over here, Peter's got a little stack going. Peter's still working on construction. His tech rate's... You know what? Let's just do a quick tech rate check. Darius 173. Charlemagne 64. Okay. Boudica 81. Hammurabi 95. Although he is upgrading units, so his actual rate's higher than that. Peter 34. That's not good, Peter. Ramses 91. Roosevelt 96. So clearly Darius is the tech leader right now. Yeah, although he is actually in the negative, so his tech rate is actually a little bit lower than that, but definitely the tech leader at the moment. Anyway. So yeah, there's just a big clash along the border here. Between the two of them, I believe, yeah, Boudica moves first between the two of them. And over here, okay, we've got Peter sent a stack forward. I mean, is it going to go well? Not likely. Although Roosevelt was dumb enough to attack in the forest, it looks like he still did wipe most of that stack. And over here, it looks like Boudica had a stack, but most of it seems to be dead. I think Boudica got the better of that trade. How is he the worst enemy of Ramses? That's really bizarre. Yeah, I think that trade did not go well for Boudica over there. Still, if this war just sees Hammurabi and Boudica trade a whole bunch of units and nothing else happens, it's a big win for Darius. And Ramses to an extent as well. Ramses is not plotting war. Darius is also not plotting war, even though this would seem like a good opportunity. Charlemagne is also not plotting war. That said, okay, yeah, enough with your spam messages. Okay, yeah, it's Boudica or Hammurabi might have enough units here to capture this. If these units, well, it's maybe a little too heavy on catapults, but then again, maybe not. Do the Americans have catapults? They might be able to siege down Novgorod, but at the moment they're not. They're not doing that. So Iska lost its... Actually, Iska might die here. Is Ramses build. The Parthenon's not a super effective wonder, though. This city might die here. There's a lot of units here and not that many defenders. Let's see. Yeah, all right. First blood to Hammurabi, who's also going to get the music grade artist, it appears. And yes, that Barb city got auto-raised as expected. I think Ramses was the one who raised it. Well, one city trades hands, so 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 cities for Boudica. Now against 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13. Yeah, starting to get a little one-sided there. And the Americans have a stack moving forward too. I still am waiting for Charlemagne to try to pile in here on the other side. Because Charlemagne does not like Peter at all. Come on, go take out Peter and make him first to die. Anyway, can Boudica retake this? All right, Boudica did retake the city though, so I guess that was short-lived. Although it might just get taken back again. Got to keep refreshing the map here. Still, so far nothing too significant's happened, aside from units just getting traded by both sides. Looks like Boudica was able to reinforce. It's a lot of injured units over there on the part of Hammurabi. So it looks like he was not able to hold that spot. Took it initially, but not able to hold it. And it looks like the music great artist went to Hammurabi. The fact that it was born in Babylon. When you get the ones that come for free off the tech tree, they always show up in your capital. Meanwhile, over here, this war also seems to be stalemated at the moment. As I said, both wars will probably be stalemated unless they turn into like a 2v1 on one side or the other. Although Roosevelt does seem to be cleaning up some of Peter's stuff. That's a nice wonder for Darius. Charlie gets his shrine a little bit late. 19, that's a pretty well spread religion. Okay. And Ramses gets Shwedagon Paya. Ramses' cultural victory is also definitely a possibility. So far these two wars have both stalemated and gone nowhere on both sides. Peter somehow has pulled ahead of Charlemagne in score, although he remains exceptionally weak. I think the main thing is just, again, to keep checking in. Is someone going to jump into one of these wars? And so far the answer continues to be no from everybody else. Still no, everybody else not. Who do you think would get liberalism? Right now, Darius would be the favorite for that. And there's another religion founded by Ramses. I didn't think he was a serious threat to go for a cultural victory, but he has enough religions now that I think he kind of is. That was the philosophy religion, so now he has 3 of them. Hammurabi had a stack wiped out. Yeah, that attack that was trying to siege up there did not work. That's the 3rd. He might be going into culture mode here, guys. I thought when he missed every early religion, he didn't really have a realistic chance, but he might now have enough to make the play for cultural victory. Yeah, it's kind of weird that like no one, I'm surprised that no one is jumping into these wars here. Just because like particularly Ramses and Boudica have like so much border tension. I'm just surprised that Ramses is not trying to make a play here. But you know, if he's in culture mode, that might be why he's not interested in fighting. If he's in early culture, he might not be. He might just go into culture mode and not try to ever fight someone, which is really interesting. And then Charlemagne, I just don't know what Charlemagne is doing. I really don't know what in the world he's doing over there. He's dropped all the way down to last in score. This would seem like the opportunity he needs to try to get back in the game. I will say both Boudica and Hammurabi should probably try to get out of this war, which is not helping either of them. Yeah, these wars are both just going nowhere. Just dragging down all the participants. Just like massive bloodletting and no one gains anything. Long term, though, Hammurabi out-researches Boudica, so I think he would eventually be able to tech to superior units. But, like, it's going to drag them both down by a lot. All right, Roosevelt Colossus. Ramses Anchor Wat. Ramses is probably in culture mode based on how much he's spreading these religions around. Hammurabi Sunit Maces. Well, he'll need machinery for that, but he will need machinery for that. So let's see. He already has the whole aesthetics line, and he just got civil service. Boudica doesn't have any of the aesthetics techs at all. Also has not researched civil service yet. Yeah, she's definitely a little ways behind. Hammurabi's up like 5 techs on her. All right, well, we finally have an actual siege going on here. I don't think this is anywhere near enough to take this spot, though. So Ramses Golden Age, remember, he has Mausoleum. That's really nice for Ramses. Also, this one city, the Barb City Zapotec down here, putting a lot of cultural pressure on. Ramses, Darius. Nope. Charlemagne, any of you guys? All right, Charlemagne is plotting war. It almost has to be Peter as the target. It almost has to be. Because, where is Charlemagne? He hates Peter. Peter's right on his border. He's friends with Roosevelt, BFF. You would have to think he would be plotting. I mean, we'll see, but you would have to think that that's a goal. Oh, hey, by the way, thanks for dropping in. A forest grew around the besieging army. Indeed, if the siege has gone on long enough that forests grow on the tile, you would think that's a bit of a long siege. Anyway, so still no winner emerging over here. Just a lot of bloodletting on each side. Although Peter seems to be decreasing in power while Roosevelt seems to be increasing. He's been building, he actually might be able to take this city here. He does have a siege going on. Also, very wisely, is sieging up from the forest tile. So, like, the Russian units that try to attack out have to attack into the cultural defense. This city might actually fall. And Hammurabi is getting maces here. Although I don't think that maces do that much to swing this. Oh, Boudica. Okay, big win for Hammurabi. Got peace, got out of this war that wasn't really doing anything, and also managed to get a city in the process, too. Big, big, big win for Hammurabi. Boudica's aggression goes nowhere. So whereas before, Boudica was like running pretty even with the Hammurabi, Ramses, Darius trio, she's now clearly a step back. Now she's actually below Roosevelt. The other thing that happened is not only did she lose territory, she also kind of poisoned the well with a lot of these other leaders. Because like by declaring war on Hammurabi, who's a pretty well-liked leader, she definitely got some minus diplomatic penalties with a bunch of people. By the way, Hammurabi's up to friendly now with Darius, which is interesting. This is how people feel about her. So, like, Roosevelt doesn't like her. Ramses is cautious. Hammurabi now hates her. And the other leaders are pretty lukewarm. The only one who likes her is Peter, and Peter's in a lot of trouble. She could go after Roosevelt now. That's true. She absolutely could. And that could try to flip that exchange around. The other thing that's bad about that for Boudica is she just cannot keep up with some of these other leaders in a teching competition. Like, how does she ever keep pace with Darius, who has financial trait, and Ramses, who has like 1 billion wonders, and Hammurabi, who's the biggest civ in the game? She can't keep up long-term economically. She has to snowball. So the fact that her first war resulted in -1 cities is a disaster. Like, she can't go backwards. She has to be gaining territory, not losing it. So that was a bad result for her. And she's now just like middle of the pack, and that's a bad sign for her. All right, let's see if this siege at Novgorod can actually punch through. It looks like it will, actually. Tarsus, is that in... Wait, who has Tarsus? Where in the world is that? Oh, it's a Darius city. Was that the Divine Right religion? I think that was the last one. Yeah, okay. That would be significant if Darius flips into that religion. At the moment, he's running Hinduism, which is why he loves Hammurabi so much. So that's... I don't know. I don't know if he'll ever bother to swap into it. Darius is not... Generally is a leader who doesn't care that much about religion. But it is a religion that Ramses did not get. So that's also noteworthy in that regard. He looks like he's working with 4 religions, not 5. Okay. We might see a city actually change hands here. So we'll watch Novgorod and see if Roosevelt can bully his way through. Yes, okay. I will say if Peter can't hold this city, he's probably dead. He looks pretty dead if that's the case. All right. Well, down goes that one, and I'd say the first to die money on Peter is looking very good at this point. All right, well, here's the stack that Charlie's building right here. I would say Harappan is probably the target, because I don't know where else this would be going. He literally cannot declare war on Roosevelt. They're please locked. Charlemagne doesn't declare war at pleased, and he's almost friendly with Roosevelt. So it's not going into America, and if it's not going there, I mean, I guess he could be going across map, but that seems unlikely. Anyway, Ramses actually has taken the score lead now as a result of all the fighting that Hammurabi was doing, so that's kind of cool. He is plotting war. Okay, Ramses can't declare war at pleased, so there's not a lot of targets he can go after. I think Boudica is the most likely, so that's noteworthy. And was Darius plotting war? No, he's still not. Hammurabi, I'd be surprised if he's plotting war. Yeah, Hammurabi is probably like, I need to go back and build wonders for a little while, because I was in war mode for a while. Ramses, let's see if we can find his stack. I don't see one yet, but I suspect that Boudica is the target. Is Ramses pleased with Darius? Good question. Ramses is pleased with Darius. Yeah, so there is some tension there. Good question. All right, let's watch the one war that's still ongoing for the moment. Darius Spiral Minaret. Okay, buddy. It's pretty close between Ramses, Hammurabi, Darius. The three of them are definitely the top AIs in this game right now. I'm watching up here because I'm waiting to see if a Holy Roman stack's going to come flying in. Ramses also getting Sistine. That's big. Sistine's a really important wonder if you're going for a cultural victory. That one's a biggie. Will Charlemagne manage to declare war before Peter is dead? Probably. Roosevelt's not exactly speeding along through here. But anyway, there's not as much going on these turns, so since this is already kind of a long game, I'm going to try to speed it along. We're almost, we're over an hour and a half in, and we're only on turn 139. I don't want to be running this game until it's dinner time locally. So Moscow's under siege. There's not a lot of units that actually are attackers, but there might be time for them to trickle in while the catapults are sieging down. It would actually be good for Hammurabi if he tried to take a city or two off Peter, but he likes Peter, doesn't he? Where's Hammurabi? Yeah, he's +8 with Peter. So he's not going to attack Peter. All right. Oh, Boudica declares war on Ramses before Ramses can declare war on Boudica. All right. That's a nice stack. Well, that Byblos is not going to last there. I will say this makes a Ramses plus Hammurabi partition of Boudica look a lot more likely. All right, well, Byblos is, I mean, that city's toast. But, like, where's Hammurabi again? He's minus, he has the -3 because you declared war on us. He also has the religious tension. I'm a little surprised that there's not another -1. You declared war on our friend. I guess Hammurabi doesn't like oh no, he's pleased with Hammurabi. Okay, I guess they do like each other. Hammurabi. Oh no, that's why he's only cautious towards Ramses. Okay, only cautious towards Ramses, but he really doesn't like that. Yeah, that attack is smart right next to a source of metal. That's true. Well, Byblos is pretty screwed. Yeah, the defense is taken out instantly. How about Ramses? Wasn't Ramses building up a stack too? And Darius, by the way, still just, I'm gonna sit in the corner. All right, there's the word. There it is, finally. Ramses, oh, he just lost his golden age too. All right, well, let's mark down that war. So Peter is looking pretty toasty at this point. This Yekaterinburg, by the way, if it gets captured, it'll just flip over to Hammurabi. But this is a nice chance for Roosevelt and Charlemagne to pick up some more territory. I think that Byblos is about to die here, though. This feels like a game that might send a lot of people to the wildcard game. Yeah, it does, because I think Peter doesn't make it to the end of the game. I think there's a good chance Boudica doesn't either. I know Boudica's not like dead last in score or anything, but I actually think there's a good chance she, unless she can run over Ramses, I guess it's not impossible, but unless she can run over Ramses, which I don't think she's going to be able to do, the odds that Hammurabi comes back to attack her is, yeah. Well, Darius, and Darius is still teching away back here. Don't sleep on Darius either. He's like, I have 10 cities. I do not need to expand any further. This is enough. I will win the game with what I have. Looks like the attack also came in on Moscow, and it looks like it maybe came just short. But that's just going to make it easier for Charlemagne to start grabbing territory up here. Because Harappan is definitely going to get cow. I guess here's the next stack coming in. Still horse archers, though. Is Boudica's army on the march? Yes, it is. She's got a lot of units up there. All right, Boudica, if you're going to make this happen, this is the time to do it. Because your units are probably going to start to get outdated soon. Oh, here's the Ramses stack right here. Does Ramses have elephants? I can't remember. No ivory, so it doesn't have elephants. How close is Ramses to having like the next generation of military tech? So he can do maces. He's got civil service, feudalism. Okay, engineering obviously is a big counter to the elephants. And then only one tech away from knights. Okay. If Boudica can actually take over Ramses, she's definitely further behind in tech. She doesn't have civil service or code of laws. She doesn't have any of the aesthetics techs either. But if she could actually take out over Ramses, which I don't think is going to happen, if she could, though, that would obviously catapult her into a leading position. So she's doing what she has to do. She has to attack now. Time is not on Boudica's side. This is the time to make her move. Anyway, Harappan looks like it's about to die. Unless Roosevelt comes in here and snipes it. No, that did not happen. Meanwhile, Darius just la la la. I will let all of you fight, and I will just continue to tech away merrily in peace over here. Anyway, Boudica also has another big stack here, ready to go. Ramses, where did the Ramses stack? Didn't Ramses have units over here too? Did they all die? Not yet, at least. Meanwhile, is Hammurabi back to plotting war? Just out of curiosity. Oh boy. Hammurabi's plotting war again. Well, he really dislikes Boudica. He's not attacking Darius, and he's not attacking Peter. The others are eligible targets. I mean, if he wanted to go after Ramses here, I mean... if he went after Ramses, that would be very, very ugly for Ramses. It would also be really bad for Roosevelt, too. I think Boudica is the target, because I believe they're no longer please locked. Right? Where's Hammurabi? They are no longer please locked. Yeah, this is the stack is here. I have to imagine Boudica is the target. So this looks like it could backfire on Boudica pretty badly. But she's definitely messing up Ramses pretty good right now. Alright, yeah. Enough request spam. Looks like she's going to take this city, Akhetaten, most likely. She's certainly using a lot of units there. Yeah, Ramses just got another shrine. Wait, is this a double holy city? No, that's down here. Never mind. I'm like, wait, what? 20. Yeah, this is a double holy city. Holy cow, I didn't even realize that. It has the Jewish and Taoist shrines. Wow. Interesting. That's a lot of a lot of income there. That's a valuable city. Boudica's stack is right here, by the way, guys. Boop. Oh, I guess there's mountains blocking the way. I was gonna say boop boop boop, but there's mountains in the way. Ramses with the innovative war chariot horse archer defense. Yeah, didn't we see Hatshepsut do that too? Too many war chariots, like too late in the game. So Ramses is definitely taking it on the chin here. This is hurting a lot. Meanwhile, Darius still on his 10 cities. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Yep. That's all he's going to get is 10 cities. Meanwhile, over here, Peter... the stacks are wandering around in here. Just to get an update on what's going on. I'm pretty sure Peter will be the first to expire here. All right, it's turn 150. We'll just do a quick bar graph check, but then there's actually a lot of action going on right now. If Hammer doesn't come to Ramsey's defense, he might just die because he's in. It definitely seems like he's in culture mode, and the AI does not defend itself very well when it's in that culture mode. GMP, Darius, and Ramses right here. Production, it's thrown off by people being in golden ages. Hammurabi's definitely first, and Peter's last on the food chart. So Boudica and Ramses both lost a lot of units there. Boudica lost more, but she actually took an objective, so I'll say advantage Boudica, and then I should have done culture as well. Just there, apparently a culture bomb was detonated by Hammurabi somewhere in Vandal. Where's Vandal? Oh, over here. Okay, detonated a culture bomb in the former Barb city. Okay, I guess. So that's what's going on right now. And we want to continue with our ongoing conflicts here. So like if the border stayed static from here, Darius would probably win. The problem for Darius is like he has almost no opportunity to expand whatsoever, whereas like there's by the way, Hammurabi just declared war on Boudica. I was going to say whereas Hammurabi has opportunities for major expansion. Like, there's a very real chance that this ends with Hammurabi having all his territory and all of Boudica's territory. And then Darius is not going to look so hot after that. So yeah, Darius has definitely got the tech lead for right now. I don't know if he'll be able to maintain it, though. It's like... But Darius is definitely racing through the tech tree. I'm just not sure you can win the game with this few cities if someone else has like 20, 25 cities. All right, well, Boudica was not ready for this attack at all. The good news for her is she has a castle in here. That's going to mean that this stack's going to take a while, but this city is pretty doomed. Over here, we have a siege ongoing at Moscow. So let's keep an eye on that. Looks like Roosevelt's working on that. And meanwhile, Charlemagne is working on this, although Charlemagne has only brought 2 catapults, so that's going to take a while. And Boudica, okay, Boudica finally got her shrine. Although that probably is going to get grabbed by somebody else if she gets eliminated. But that'll be a nice prize for somebody. It's good for her right now. And Boudica looks like she still has her units regrouping up here at the moment. Oh, wait. 1 turn of bombardment took out 34% of Camalodunum's defense. Wow, that's a lot of... that's a lot of siege in that stack there, Hammurabi. That's a lot of siege in that stack there. Darius, another golden age. All right, and then Moscow looks like it's going to get attacked here too. Either on this turn or the next turn. Peter just, there's no way he can survive the 2v1. The vile Celtics. Moscow looks like it might barely survive, but like the next wave is already incoming. So for the time being, Camalodunum lost all of its defenses, so it'll fall. And Boudica's stack... Alright, well Boudica is like, I'm losing my core, am I going to stock the offensive? No, Pyramesses. Roll on to Pyramesses. It's a holy city, we want it. But Camalodunum's going to fall here. That's 100% going to be taken. And then... At this point, Hammurabi's starting to punch into the core territory of Boudica. Meanwhile, Moscow has survived. Yeah, Moscow survived like another turn, but I think it's going to fall here. And no, never mind. Boudica pulled her stack back a turn to regroup. All right. Hammurabi happy to eat up those former Ramses cities. Well, Hammurabi's nowhere close to there yet, but maybe. All right, Moscow has fallen. St. Petersburg is under siege. Peter is running out of build queues. He has 4 cities left. I don't think it's going to be too much longer at this point. And this stack is on the move for Scythian, which is not very well defended at all. And there's no... okay, so big thing here. There's no castle in Scythian. There's actually no walls either. So these cats will instantly drop the defenses, and then that city's dead too. Instead of having to stand there for like 10 turns bombarding the defenses, that city will just be dead on this incoming turn. Let's see if St. Petersburg will... And up here, did Boudica stop her offensive? No, on she goes. There's no There's no castle here either. There's no walls, no castle, so those defenses will go down quickly. Boudica is like not defending herself, but also not, but also still trying to take a bite out of Ramses here. So we do seem to be moving towards a Hammurabi Darius 1-2 pairing at the moment. Anyway, St. Petersburg goes down. West of Hammer's offensive is a little stack of with like one cat. Oh, over here. Oh yeah, there's a tiny little stack here. Maybe that can snipe Gergovia if Boudica's or Ramses is distracted. All right. Well, yeah, Pi Ramses looks like it's probably gonna fall. Ramses does have knights, but like there's 26 units in this stack. I don't think Pi Ramses has enough to hold that. Let's see. I guess the attack didn't come in this turn. Either that or it held for another turn. Or they signed peace. Did they sign a peace treaty? What happened? I'm assuming they signed a peace treaty. Okay. Darius doing a big civic swap. Scythian did indeed get captured. Alright, Ramses made peace. Wow, right when Pi Ramses was about to get captured too. Now the bad news for Darius, or for Ramses, is this was an opportunity to take some territory from Boudica. Now he just has to hope that Hammurabi will capture some of these cities and gift them back. Darius, who has never made any attempt to expand beyond his corner, is now still sitting there looking good on score. 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Yep, still with the 10 cities. No attempt to expand further. The problem is, right now, Hammurabi is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, and, like, is about to start punching right into the core of, what's its name, of Boudica's territory. Anyway, we also now have American and Holy Roman stacks heading on the offensive, too, into what's left of Peter, so that's not likely to last much longer. Yekaterinburg, I've already said, will almost certainly get gifted over to the Babylonians if it gets captured. So we'll keep an eye on those conflicts. And then I guess Ramses has to still hope... Okay. Built the Mahabharati. Okay. 2 whole cities have this religion. I suspect some of these leaders are going to go free religion later on. Because who likes free religion in this game, just out of curiosity? Darius likes... Okay, Darius will go free religion. It's his favorite civic. He'll go into that soon. Which will mean that he'll lose the shared Hinduism shield with Hammurabi. Anyway. So, I do think Darius still has a very real shot at this. What's Hammurabi doing? He's got a... Okay, this stack is, I guess, going over to Gergovia, which is not very well defended. We should check the power real quick. Hammurabi is definitely running away with it. Peter is not looking so hot there. I would feel a lot better about my picks right now if I had Hammurabi 1, Darius 2. Because that way, if Darius won, I could get the half points for having them backwards. Now watch. And Darius takes liberalism. With my luck, it's going to be Darius 1, Hammurabi 2. And then even though I read the game really well, I won't get any points for having that. Okay. Of course, if Ramses wins a cultural victory, I would get... well, actually, I wouldn't if Darius... How is Darius ahead of Hammurabi in score? That's wild. How far ahead is he in tech, just out of curiosity? Okay, Darius has these techs. Oh. Oh, God. Oh, God. Darius is really far ahead in tech. He's very far ahead in tech. Uh-oh. Yeah, his cities are huge. That's true. His cities are absolutely enormous. That's quite a lead. Am I the only one who's going to be pissed if Darius wins this game by literally doing nothing except building 10 cities and never doing anything after that? Am I the only one who's going to be pissed if he literally does nothing else the whole game and actually manages to win? Ah, well. It would figure, I've picked a financial leader in every single game this year. It would figure the one game I don't pick a financial leader, that they'd be the one who can win. We can look at the tech rate in a little bit. Sure, if you want to check. I'm sure Darius has the most. Oh my god. He's 867 beakers per turn. What the heck? And he's running a positive on the slider. Is he in a golden age? He's not in a golden age. He's not in a golden age, and he's 800 beakers per turn. Charlemagne's at 100. Boudica's at 144. Hammurabi's at 545, which is not bad. Okay, Peter is cooked. Ramsey's at 200. Roosevelt's at 2. Oh my god. He's about to get Taj as well. Okay, buddy. Build 10 cities. No silly wars, I guess. Here's his. What does his tech go to in the golden age? Okay, over 1,000, and he's still running a positive on the slider too. Okay, man. I wasn't even tracking that there was a siege going on at Rostov. Kind of wish I'd picked Darius for second. Oh well, that's water under the bridge now. Pool 1 leaders have been so bad in this competition so far. So anyway, Peter has 1 city left, so that's not going to last much longer. And it looks as though... Wait, what happened? Didn't Hammurabi have a stack over here? I guess he pulled back a little bit. Yeah, Darius is actually... just... I don't know. I'm just surprised he's been this effective on so few cities. I mean, the game... What's frustrating to me is the game is playing out exactly the way I thought it would. I was like, Darius is going to be bottled up on just a handful of cities. But that just might be enough. It might just be enough. I was like, he's going to get stuck on a tiny amount of cities. And that's exactly what happened. But he might just win on literally the land grab and nothing else. Anyway. Well, we're still a long way away, a long way to go, but he is definitely mounting up a rather sizable tech lead at this point. And Hammurabi's offensive seems to have slowed here. Like, whatever happened, it looks like he took some unit losses. For some reason, Roosevelt's actually the #1 power leader at this point. 10 cities isn't super small, that's true. I thought he might get bottled up on like 8, I think I said like 7 or 8 cities. And he did get to 10, which is definitely more significant. Yeah, like he got this spot. I said I thought this spot might get taken by Ramses, and he did get this spot, which definitely helps. And he also founded, the AI sometimes doesn't found like the tundra coastal cities. He founded every single one. This one, this one, this one, this one, this one. Because like instead of all these cities, this could have been like 3 cities instead of 5 cities. And that would also make a big difference too. Hammurabi's on guilds while Darius was on democracy. Yeah. You guys don't have to rub it in. All right, well, that's it. Peter is first to die. At least I called that right. And Roosevelt's the one who got the kill. So we'll mark that down. All righty. Also, the game still has a long way to go. The Darius pick is looking better and better for all of you guys who had Darius. I'd feel a lot better if I picked Darius second. But I thought he'd do something stupid, and he really hasn't so far. All right, Peter is out on turn 168. Not a very impressive showing from Peter in this game. 168. The kill goes to Roosevelt. So, for our picking contest, first eliminated Peter, who is not a super popular pick. Be happy to claim at least a few points for that. And then for fantasy purposes, Peter scores 2 points for being first to die. Where is Peter on here? For Lobster, that was a great pickup to get 2 points for Peter on a very cheap bid. And then Roosevelt, surprisingly, scores a kill point. If I can find Roosevelt on here. I'm apparently terrible at spotting these names. To Kajatlake's team for a 12 bid. Roosevelt has already paid back that bid just from getting 1 point in the competition. So yeah, Lobster has 11 points and ABC has 14. Definitely doing the best, although we're still very early in our fantasy competition here. All right, let's go back to Civ and continue onwards. Please get rid of Burger King from the pooled leader list. So out of the destruction of Peter, it was a pretty even split in the territory. 3 cities went to Charlemagne and 4 cities went to Roosevelt. Although, as I said, Yekaterinburg is pretty likely to end up in Babylonian territory. So as far as our leaders that are now no longer in wars, Charlemagne, the 2 of them love each other. They won't fight each other. Roosevelt they're both friendly with each other. Roosevelt does not like Boudica. and is indifferent towards Ramses. Although he can plot were it pleased. Charlemagne cannot plot were it pleased. He actually likes Boudica because of shared civics. And then he's just cautious with everybody else. If you highlight today's... Okay, sure. I try not to have too much stuff on the screen. All right, this is not the biggest stack. Oh, Boudica is trying to attack here at Scythian, but it doesn't seem like it's working very well. Hammurabi kind of needs to push forward to the rifling line so she can, or so he can get through Boudica's territory. Boudica's actually lasted score now. Oh, printing press. Is Hammurabi going for rifles? No. Oh no. Sadly, going down the democracy line. So close. We'll be on medieval tech for a lot while longer. So close, but no. Meanwhile, Darius's scientific method, probably physics, next. The city Gergovia doesn't have much in it. The problem is that, like, all Boudica would have to do is just attack and she'd capture it, but because she has 4 siege units, now she's going to spend the next, or Hammurabi's going to spend the next 15 turns bombarding this city. At least there's some trebuchets in the stack. But it just takes so long to take down castles. Okay, so Darius did get out of his golden age. Look at that. He already has a halfway done Statue of Liberty. I guess we should check to see if, like, Ramses is back to plotting war. Nope. He's not back to plotting war. Roosevelt? Nope. And I would be very surprised if Charlemagne is plotting war. Okay, no. Does not seem like a game with a lot of wars. How am I feeling about the 9 wars? Pretty happy I didn't pick more. I said I didn't think we'd have a lot of wars this game because so many leaders won't declare war at pleased. So I'm happy I didn't pick more there. Does not seem like we're going to get a lot of them. Kind of need... Oh, Hammurabi got a... Okay, Golden Age. Well, that's certainly good to power through some of these. Hammurabi's... Okay. Well, for all that I said it was bad that Hammurabi was on democracy research, Hammurabi's already at democracy tech. So maybe I'll go for militaristic stuff. That said, if Hammurabi does take over all of Boudica's territory, Hammurabi is going to be pretty freaking gigantic if he gets to that point. So who knows? Darius being in the corner does make him pretty sheltered. I'm not signing a defensive pact. The problem for everybody else is nobody will fight Darius, so like he just gets to tech and peace the whole game. Yeah, he's not gonna fight anybody. Whereas how people feel about Darius. Ramses is like the only one that could really fight him, and Ramses is pleased, so Ramses won't fight him. Charlemagne is too far away. I mean, that would be hilarious if he walked across the map. And Boudica has enough on her hands right now. Hammurabi is friendly. Hammurabi won't fight him. So Darius does look like he's just never going to get touched by anybody in this game. Maybe I should have realized that just nobody was ever going to bother him in this game. And that's all he'd really need. Alright, Gergovia does look like it. Alright, so Gergovia got attacked. Tolosa is next. I mean, Hammurabi is kind of making a move here. Now, Gergovia is probably going to go over to the Egyptians. See, Yekaterinburg did actually get gifted over there a little bit earlier. Which is not unusual when the culture is like so heavily skewed in one side's favor. So, right now, Boudica is like slowly dying, but it is relatively slow. I think I looked at Roosevelt relatively recently, but I can check again. Alright, well, sure enough, good call. He's back to plotting again. He can declare war at pleased, so that's a possibility. He could attack anyone except Charlemagne, but the most likely target is probably Boudica, because they have some border tension. You would think. There's the Statue of Liberty. It's a very early Statue of Liberty. I do wonder, though, if Darius will stall at least a little bit in the endgame, because he doesn't have much territory. And, like, these cities, like, they're just water tiles. That doesn't scale very well into the late game, because, you know, you can't... It's not like he's working cottages here. He's working all water tiles. And he has a lot of cities like that. So I do wonder if this starts to falter at least a little bit in the late game. So far, it's not been a problem, though. FDR could attack Hammurabi. It's not impossible. I mean, Hammurabi's got like the most territory by a pretty good margin, but he's nowhere near. He's not strong enough to like 2v1 people at the moment. Yeah, look, that Gergovia is definitely going to go over to Ramses. So for the moment, we'll watch our one conflict and try to next turn the turns a little bit faster. How close is Boudica to getting... Okay, Boudica's researching compass. Hammurabi's researching liberalism. Hammurabi, you might want to research, like, rifling and military tradition, something like that. Darius is on freaking biology, so okay. So here's... Yeah, I mean, here's the stack for Darius, or for Roosevelt. So the most likely target is Boudica. Most likely. But we'll just have to wait and see. Still, I would expect Roosevelt to attack Boudica. And then after Boudica's gone, we might not see a much more conflict for a while. Okay, well, that attack on Tolosa did not work. Meanwhile, Darius is just kind of chilling over there. Tolosa, the defenses got taken down, but that was about it. Ramses, do you fancy? All right, Ramses also is plotting, and I have to believe Ramses wants to get revenge here. Actually, there's only one person he can declare war on. He's pleased with literally everyone except Boudica, so there's only one person he can attack. Not that he has that much military, but yeah. Also, Hammurabi and Darius are like right there for the score lead. So Boudica, as I kind of thought might happen, does look like she's just made too many enemies in this game. She looks like she's about to be in a 3v1. Hammurabi, are you ever going to research military text, buddy? He's certainly not beelining them. He's gone astronomy, democracy, liberalism, economics, now corporation. No military tradition, no rifling, no gunpowder. Why the AIs do this is just so baffling sometimes. Really, really baffling. But definitely not helping out. All right, Darius, is he running... Wait, what is... Oh, he's in Anarchy. I was like, he's not running the slider, is he? But he's in Anarchy. He's just swapped into Free Religion. Now, that could change his relations with some people. Where's Darius? No, everybody's still pleased with him. Everybody still loves him, so... How close is Darius to infantry? He's a ways off from infantry. I mean, he doesn't have rifles yet, so... Darius also has not bothered to get rifling tech. So he's left himself militarily vulnerable. He just... Nobody's willing to attack him. Boudica is, like, no ability to... I mean, eventually, like, Hammurabi will research the next tier of military tech, but, like... he's sure taking his time about it. And still waiting for this big medieval stack from Roosevelt to come over here. So we're just kind of watching and waiting here. All right, Hammurabi finally going military tradition. Darius on a medicine beeline. What a strange... He went biology medicine, oddly enough. I'm a little surprised by that. I guess he won't have to worry about pollution. I will say he is a little slower on some of these texts than the AI often is in the late game. Like, normally the AI in the late game is researching text like every 3 turns. He has been more like 4 or 5 turns on some of these texts. There is the potential for a larger Civ to run him down, like, long term on the tech tree. But it would help Boudica if she actually researched military units so she could take over Boudica's territory. Boudica's, I mean, if you want to see where they are in the tech tree... Hammurabi is so far ahead of Boudica, but just will not research military techs. Like, look, Hammurabi's got to be a dozen techs ahead. He's like a full era ahead. But, like, even military tradition doesn't do anything without gunpowder for cuirassiers. It literally does nothing on its own. Boudica actually has the military edge because she has gunpowder tech. We wanted to see the power bar graph. Nothing too gigantic, but, like, Boudica is way weaker and still hanging in there just because... Hammurabi won't research, like, rifling. And I keep waiting for Roosevelt to join this war, and he has not. Boudica's actually on the offensive down here at Camalodunum. Actually has a stack trying to attack. Although it looks like there's some pretty fierce fighting there going on. Now Hammurabi's on replaceable parts. All right. That's probably a rifling beeline. All right. Now very belatedly getting rifling. So we'll have, does have gunpowder, now has cuirassiers, we'll have rifles and cav shortly. So that will spell the end for Boudica as soon as those units pop up. Ivan the Terrible has died in combat. And there's Ramses re-entering the war. And recapturing one of the cities from earlier. So Boudica, her flame burned brightly, but it has burned out. Her land quality was good. It's just Boudica, her priest-weight situation was not very good in this game. And Roosevelt, are you still plotting war? Apparently still plotting war. Still taking his time over there, though. And it looks like that attack on Camalodunum petered out. Darius, another golden age. Oh my god, Darius. Another golden age. This guy is just relentless. Yeah, that was a bad recent trade for what's her name, for Boudica. But it does feel like Boudica is buying enough time for Darius to just get so far ahead in tech that like he might just run away with this. Meanwhile, Ramses is back here. Ramses, as far as Ramses' cultural victory goes, it's not out of the question, you guys. It's actually not out of the question, because he's not running the slider. Like, this city only needs 118 turns, and he's not running the slider. Ramses first to win this game is actually not out of the question. Like, if he goes in on culture here. Because Darius has a very long way to go to launch the spaceship. So, yeah, let's put a hold on that thought. That Ramses could actually do this. Because I don't know if Hammurabi can outrace Darius to space, but Ramses might be able to outrace him by culture. Especially if Ramses gets more cities, and then he can build more temples to build more cathedrals, because the AI is actually pretty good at doing that. Anyway, Hammurabi is now about to get rifling, but Darius is about to get assembly line. Darius still, by the way, Darius still does not have rifling. I want to point this out. Darius does not have rifling. Look at this. Look at his tech tree. He does not have rifling tech, you guys. So, yeah. We could still have a pretty interesting ending to this game, even though it's going to be a more peaceful game. Just the, like, can Darius get across the finish line for a spaceship before someone can win another victory condition? Anyway, Roosevelt is still sitting on the sidelines, twiddling his thumbs, not doing anything. Meanwhile, Ramses is apparently attacking with knights up there in the north. I have to think Hammurabi's going to get most of the spoils from this war, both because he's the biggest civ and he's about to have rifles, whereas Ramses, and if Roosevelt ever does anything, are still going to have medieval units. But Tolosa, I mean, Tolosa's might fall. There's a lot of units packed up in there, so maybe, maybe not. It does look like cuirassiers are finally attacking. We'll look more at the stats after this war is over, because it does look like it's starting to wind down, but if you just want a quick bar graph. Yeah, Hammurabi's not so amazing on here. It's really Darius and then Ramses with the culture. Darius has the production edge. Hammurabi is the food edge. It's kind of rare to have a civ that one civ has the food edge, one civ has the culture edge, one civ has the research edge. Hammurabi, after getting gunpowder and rifling, now is spiking in power and culture. Ramses is, of course, the culture leader. It's going to be a very different game once Boudica exits. There it is, finally, Roosevelt entering the war. Finally. How many turns did he sit there building up? Way too many. At least that gets us to 7 wars. Alright. Anyway, Tolosa. Is there enough here for this stack to punch through and take... Is this city on a hill, by the way? No, that's on flat ground. But Bracht is fine for the moment. Vienne, though, is a holy city with a pretty well spread religion, so that would certainly be nice. That would be nice for Ramsey's getting another holy city. How many holy cities does he have right now? 1, 2, 3. He could get 4 if he takes this. Yeah, 1, 2. Yeah, could end up with 4 if he takes that. All right. Yes, the observer civ discovered bronze working. Okay, yeah, Tolosa is pretty dead here. That city will definitely fall. And yeah, the walls are just closed in on Boudica. She doesn't have much left. Not in this one. Hammurabi going for scientific method of all things. All right. So Hammurabi definitely picking up some gains here. There's also a real question of like, who has the score lead? But if Ramses like pulls off this weird cultural victory, who has the score lead between Darius and Hammurabi could be really significant too. Again, and there's another Boudica city going down. Hammurabi should gain in score like once these cities come out of resistance, whereas Darius I don't think can really increase score aside from discovering techs is about it, because Darius can't really get more pop and can't really wait. Did he found that city? Wait, did he found another city? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. He found another city on the border here. Oh, when did he do that? Well, that was a smart move by Darius. That was well done. I wasn't expecting that. Say the line about a young man killed in battle. In his death, all things appear fair. So the question now is also for scoring purposes, who's going to get the kill credit on Boudica? There's an axeman, right? It's like he's taunting people by putting like 1 axe on defense. This is such a troll game from Darius. I'm not trying to mock him too much, but like he's literally done nothing in this game. He hasn't had to fight anyone. He has gained no territory beyond his little core there. He seems to have no interest in fighting anyone. It's just kind of amusing. Anyway, Darius, don't ever change as you research this railroad. I mean, Darius says no one's gonna attack him. Darius is safe. No one's attacking him. He's so far ahead in tech, I don't think anyone could really bother him either. Like he's already at assembly line. He still doesn't have freaking rifling tech. I don't know what he's doing. He still has no rifling tech, you guys. He's gonna have everything in the industrial era, and he still won't have rifling. This is an unreal. I guess he doesn't have military science, but like this is an unreal beeline. By the way, Hammurabi is second in tech, and he's down all those techs. Although I guess he's not down quite as many as I thought he might be down. Somebody revolted the defenses at Bibract. That's interesting. With a spy, does that mean someone's gonna attack while the defenses are revolted? Well, it looks like Hammurabi's in pole position to get that city too. And then this one was taken by Roosevelt, who's actually making a nice some gains for himself here. Gained some nice territory off Peter. Now he's taking some territory at very low effort off of Boudica. Very nice. And then it's a big question if Ramses is going to be able to get Vienna or if someone else is going to snipe that, because that is the Islamic holy city inside. I'm still marveling at like just how close it is between Darius and Hammurabi for that score position, like for that top score position there. Of course, you have to wonder for Hammurabi if he had been faster to research military tech, if he could have taken more territory off Boudica. Okay, well, got Bibract, that's the capital. No wonders in there, but definitely worth more score points. And then there's the question of will Ramses get this Islamic holy city, or will Hammurabi scuttle up there and get it first? It's not out of the question because there's only 2 catapults bombarding this, and it's not falling very quickly. Meanwhile, there's like a lot of cavalry here. Yeah. So at this point, it's just a crapshoot as far as who gets what. Another civic swap for Darius. Is he in a golden age, or shouldn't he be in anarchy? Does he have Christo to avoid anarchy? Darius isn't spiritual. No. Why didn't he eat a turn of anarchy? Is he in the Golden Age right now? I'm surprised. I thought, yeah, never mind. Maybe he already had the anarchy. I'm not sure. Yeah, there was a whole bunch of great generals in Bebracht. Why should Darius get rifling? It's a useless tech for him. I mean, I guess to some extent it is at this point. At this point, I mean, I guess it is. Also, is Roosevelt going to get another kill credit here? Because, like, if Vienna falls first, Roosevelt could actually take... Oh, Vienna did go to Ramses. Could be important. Could be important. Sid Sushi has been taken. Because that means it's a culture that, like, did not go over to Hammurabi for score purposes. And that definitely could have gone to either of them. It looks like Roosevelt's going to get the kill credit here too, which is wild. More population from Sid Sushi. Yeah, I think Roosevelt will just attack here and take the city unless he's dumb enough to wait an additional turn. Either Roosevelt's going to capture it on this turn or Hammurabi will get it on the following turn. But I think he'll just attack this turn. No, Roosevelt, you fool! You could have taken the city, but Hammurabi moves before you in turn order, so now Hammurabi's going to take it. I mean, Hammurabi deserves the kill credit, but, like, Roosevelt could have taken it here. All right. I mean, that's probably a more fair outcome. Roosevelt probably deserved the kill credit on Peter, and, like, Hammurabi probably deserved this one. But still, probably should have played out in a different fashion. I think Hammurabi would have been happier to have taken this city, though, with that Islamic shrine in it. All right, well, let's jot down the results. Boudica, the two low peace weight leaders are the first two eliminated, which is what I expected. In the order I expected as well. So Boudica eliminated on turn 216. Game 4, turn 216. Boudica had very good land. The problem for Boudica was just the peace weight situation was not good. All right, Hammurabi gets the kill credit. That has no in-game scoring consequences, but we do put a point on Hammurabi for Joel Narbinks' team. And Boudica did not end up scoring any points, unfortunately, for Kuro's team. But I think the 20 bid on Boudica was worthwhile because I think she definitely will score points in the alternate histories. And it wasn't out of the question that she could have done... Like, if the wars had played out a little differently, I don't think it's out of the question that she could have, like, put something together here. That said, there was a reason why I didn't pick her. Like, her land quality is good. It's just not a good leader, not a good civ, and the peace weight situation was a big problem. All right, on we go. Darius is on industrialism. So, increasingly, I do wonder if the question is, can Darius make it over the spaceship line before, like, Ramses wins by culture? Because Alexandria is already at 18,000. We're already down to 90 turns, and he has not turned the slider on yet. We're already down to 90 turns here. This is an awful lot of culture in this city. How many culture multipliers are in here? We have synagogue, monastery, Islamic temple, Islamic monastery, Hindu temple, Hindu cathedral, Hindu monastery, Taoist temple, Taoist pagoda, Taoist monastery. The Hermitage is in here. The Parthenon, which has 20 culture per turn, is in here. What about Heliopolis? That's even shorter. Okay. I mean, he has 4 holy cities, and he has 2 cultural traits. Yeah, I mean, this guy's going to turn the slider on. Only question, I think, is does somebody come attack him and interfere with that? So how do people feel? So let's look at the leaders. Darius, please locked, will not declare war. Charlemagne could attack Hammurabi, could attack Ramses. Hammurabi could attack Charlemagne, otherwise is pleased to lock. Charlemagne apparently not that popular. And Ramses, am I looking at this the wrong? I think I'm looking at this the wrong way. Darius, please locked, as we said. Charlemagne could attack Hammurabi, which would be a mistake, or Ramses. Hammurabi can attack Charlemagne. The only one of these leaders who can plot it pleased is Roosevelt, and Ramses could attack Charlemagne. Okay, it's pretty much Charlemagne is about it. He's pretty much just Charlemagne, by the way. Does Darius have rifles? He still does not have rifles, by the way. Still does not have rifling tech. Why does Hammurabi like Ramses so much? Good question. It is a lot of things. It's mutual military strong, long-term peace, shared resources, open borders. It is a big civics thing, but they also have mutual military bonus as well. So that's part of it. What is the civic that they both have? Hammurabi, it's bureaucracy apparently. Okay. Or something like that. Or that I'm looking at the wrong. Okay, I'm looking at the wrong one. Why does Hammurabi like Ramses so much? Hammurabi likes mutual military seems to be the biggest one, and shared resources. Good question. I'm sorry, I went straight to the friendly. You guys, friendly marker. You guys wanted the pleased relationship. All right, now that the war is finally over, Hammurabi's been in wars for ages and ages. He does finally get out of like that war mode, and his population should go up in his cities. And he'll also get some territory from cities coming out of resistance. So Hammurabi's score, I would imagine, will be higher than Darius's. Although Darius, if he keeps building wonders, that would help. If you're curious, let's just do the tech rate check. Okay, Okay, he's running 100% on the slider. 1,700 beakers per turn. Obviously, no one's close to that right now. Charlie's 800. Hammurabi's 844, but that's while running quite a bit of gold on the slider. Ramses is 700, and Roosevelt's 700. So nobody obviously can keep up. Hammurabi could be reasonably close. The problem is it's not enough to be equal with Darius in tech. He has to be researching faster than Darius in tech because he's behind by a lot. And that'll take a little bit. But like there are cities like this. Like this city has lots of cottages to grow on. So, as I said, I expect Hammurabi's score to keep going up, but I don't know if Hammurabi can outrace to space though. Okay, Ramses, are you going to turn on the slider, or is this just going to be like what's going on here? Because this was the third cultural city. We're at an 85 timer. That puts the victory condition right around turn 300. By the way, my victory date is not going to be very good on this map because unless somebody attacks Ramses, we're going to have a very fast victory date. Like a very fast victory date. I thought it might be a bit slower. Oh, look at this. A city planted right here. There's a new founded... I love it when the AI does this, when there's like space opened up, they'll actually dump another city in. That's pretty smart. I don't know why you're running the culture slider for a city that doesn't need to pop borders, but whatever. And then Ramses picked up... Really, Ramses got his cities back that he lost earlier, and then also got the Islamic Holy City. So if we see Ramses building missionaries like missionaries to spread culture everywhere, that definitely means it's in culture mode. Isn't there like a culture mode 1 and culture mode 2 or something like that? Something like that. Anyway, I think Hammurabi... I would be surprised if Darius could pass Hammurabi in score. Also, Hammurabi, why does it take 7 turns to research radio? Yeah, you're running a lot of extra gold on the slider here. I guess presumably still upgrading it. Why are you building a pikeman? What the heck? Ramses just went free religion, so that should actually increase the culture thing. That actually made... Well, look at this. Look at this score. Everyone is pleased or better with everyone else. This is wild. This is what I thought might happen. I just didn't want to pick fewer than 9 wars because there were 7 AIs in the game. It's a pleased fest. Everybody loves everybody else. So right now, Roosevelt's the only one who can plot war. I'll just check to see if anyone was plotting war before they got please locked. Again, I'd be shocked if Darius was... Yeah, no. Who would have nothing to gain. Roosevelt's the only one who can plot war right now. We're afraid of their military might. Okay. So, oh, well... Somebody started plotting war before... Somebody started plotting before they got please locked. It's probably Hammurabi, because Hammurabi's the one that he has the lowest relationship with. He was probably plotting with Hammurabi. Now, Charlemagne is not actually behind technologically. He's a lot smaller than Hammurabi, but he's not actually behind. And he's going for assembly line. How did Charlemagne... Oh, he just skipped a whole bunch of texts. He skipped drama, divine right, liberalism, astronomy, democracy. I guess he just skipped a whole bunch of stuff. So he's actually not behind militarily, surprisingly. Very surprisingly. I don't know how his research ended up being that solid. I guess he's been peacefully sitting around instead of having to fight a big war for a long time. That does tend to help. His stack is right here, so we'll just keep an eye on where this stack is going. And then we're also going to watch to see if Ramses turns the slider on and goes for culture. I mean, one thing that could happen is if Charlemagne does declare war on Hammurabi and then like drags down Hammurabi's score, Ramses could win a cultural victory and boost Darius into second place. Like, that's also possible too. Or this could just end up going nowhere. Like, Charlemagne could stop plotting war is also possible. I'm just trying to see if... Well, there goes the stack. There it goes. That's a big stack, 51 units. Is Charlemagne going to torpedo my Hammurabi pick here? I mean, Hammurabi is way higher in power. Like, way higher in power. I don't suppose anyone signed a defensive pact, did they? No. I don't know if this is a very good decision by Charlemagne, but it does look like he's about to start a war here, which I'm not sure about that. Anyway, Darius, in terms of how much more he needs to finish the tech tree, he still has a ways to go. He still has quite a few techs to go. And meanwhile, this time has not really come to... Actually, the time has slowed down here. What happened here? Apparently the time to finish has actually slowed down. Oh, well. Well, at least we get something to watch here, because it looks like... Where is Charlemagne going with this stack? Where is this going? He's clearly trying to sneak attack someone somewhere. Is he trying to go after Ramses? No, he's please locked with Ramses, wasn't he? Then there's also the UN possibility. Hammurabi's researching mass media. Can Charlie declare on Ramses from before he went free religion? That could be possible too. That's actually also possible. Here goes this stack still. I'm still wondering why Hammurabi is running the slider so much. I wish he just turned the slider on. He's been running like this huge gold bonus for quite a while now. All right, where is the stack going? Well, I mean, at this point, it looks like it's headed for Ramses, I guess. I guess that's who he was going after, I think. Oh, Hammurabi getting Christo is actually pretty nice. How did Darius not get Christo? That means no more anarchy for Hammurabi. We know the AI wastes a lot of turns in anarchy. It is... Okay, it is Ramses is the target. Wow. He walked all the way across the map to go attack Ramses. I am not sure that's the best decision. But that's what he did. I mean, I guess that's good for Darius, who, by the way, once again, completely dodging all aggression the entire game again. The yellow on yellow is hard to see. Unfortunately, there I didn't bother to change one of their colors because they're so far apart. It seemed unlikely we'd have much action between them. Well, I'm pretty sure Ramses did not want to fight a war right now. Pretty sure he didn't. Here's Charlemagne, and then here's Ramses. Hammurabi is still the top in power. Darius has been climbing. Wang Khan a word, yeah, seriously. Let's see if he's as bad at defending as before. I know, right? Now, the thing about that, though, is Hammurabi is please locked with everyone except Charlemagne. And he definitely got a you declared war on our friend for that. So if Hammurabi's going to attack anyone, you know, okay, Charlie, this may have been a rather serious mistake on your part. This may not have been a very good idea. Well, we shall see. Also, don't be surprised if Ramses dials up Hammurabi to come join his war pretty quickly. Hammurabi going free speech state property should be good civics for Hammurabi as well. He's got a lot of cottages, and I still don't know why he's running the slider so much, but those should be good civics for him. Anyway, well, at least we get to see some more action here. I mean, there's not much this stack can do to... Not much Vienne can do to hold here. Although I guess these calves would be attacking across a river, but there's just too many of them. That city should fall unless something really weird happens. We're also going to see some interesting UN dynamics because Hammurabi is definitely building the UN. Why is it a 23 turn build? What's going on? Is the Wonder really that expensive? I guess so. For some reason, he's researching military science. Why is he using this gold on? Anyway. I would not be amiss if we saw one more war, because I have 9 and we're currently on 8. But that would have to be it. No more after that. So the defenses just got taken out here. But so far, nothing else. All right, so unsurprisingly, that city gets taken. Also, Ramses' only chance now would be for culture. I don't think he has any chance with the other victory conditions. Also, is he going to turn on the slider? Because the victory condition seems to be going backwards in time. What is it? The AI often goes to plastics? Well, Ramses is not close to plastics. Isn't that like one of the famous times? Why is he going for fascism, of all things? What a bizarre thing. What you would think radio or something like that. I don't know quite what Ramses is doing with this research pattern. But anyway, yes, Vienna falls. That was expected. 11 turns of anarchy. I don't really know how Charlemagne is going to make much more progress other than that, though. He's all the way on the other side of the world from like where his core cities are. Darius builds rock and roll. Okay. What's the Hammurabi versus Darius research comparison? Darius he has plastics and everything back here. Hammurabi has does not have assembly. Yeah, I don't think Hammurabi can catch that. I don't think Hammurabi can make up that deficit. That would be hard to see. Darius has stopped around 1700 beakers, is kind of stalled there, which is not particularly high. Hammurabi probably can get a higher beaker per turn. It's just he needs to cut into that lead, which is going to be difficult to do. Check Hammurabi's unit count? Sure. I mean, Hammurabi does seem like he's starting to get more serious about his research. Yeah, he finally turned the slider on all the way. Yeah, so Hammurabi does make more beakers than Darius. Like Darius, I guess they're about the same. The problem is Hammurabi has to make up like 10 techs behind. That's the big issue. And we wanted to see the number of units these guys have. All right, so Hammurabi, 237 units. Charlemagne has 125, and Ramses has 116. So Ramses is about the same size as Hammurabi. Is he still plotting? Yeah, he's still plotting war. So, as we said, Charlie may have made a bit of a mistake here. But I'm worried it's going to be Darius 1, Hammurabi 2, and like my Hammurabi for first pick, which I think was an excellent pick, is quite possibly not going to hit here. Even though Hammurabi is going to be way bigger in size. But Darius, if he gets across the victory finish line first, that's all that really matters. Just wish I'd picked Darius second instead of... I was going back and forth between Darius second and Ramses second. I was going to pick one of them second, and I just couldn't decide. And I was like, ultimately, you know, the financial leaders have been so bad, and pool one leaders have been so bad. Let's go with Ramses. Anyway, as I said, still have a ways to go. Darius is not going to finish the tech tree super fast. If he wins by space, it is going to be a... not super fast. I mean, he's not going to be like a turn 290 spaceship victory, I don't think, because he still has a lot. He still has to go through a bunch of techs. And then, by the way, it's hard to see because these stupid flags are so similar in color. But Charlemagne is trying to attack over here by Heliopolis. If Heliopolis were to get captured, that would instantly end any attempt by Ramses to win a cultural victory. I think that, yeah, Hammurabi just declared war, though. So, yeah. And just took Vienne back. Well, there's our 9 wars. I mean, if we stop here, I'd be happy with 9 wars as well. It's kind of hard to see what's going on, but Charlemagne has sent a stack pretty deep into Ramses' territory. And if Heliopolis actually did get captured, that would be the end of any cultural victory attempt by Ramses. But I don't think that's gonna happen. Well, maybe they're continuing to go deeper and deeper into Egyptian territory. It's like a suicide mission, basically. It's a pretty good stack, but I think that's enough rifles to hold. Is there any siege in this stack? There's 3 catapults. I don't think this is enough, but I could be wrong. Anyway, Darius Eiffel Tower. We still have the UN halfway done under completion here by Hammurabi. Can Roosevelt declare war? Roosevelt appears to be still peace locked with everyone. I don't think anyone else can declare war. Darius is please locked, and Roosevelt is please locked, so neither one of them can actually declare war. Next up will be the question of, will Hammurabi try to do one of these cross-map things and attack, what's his name? Charlemagne. For the moment, he used his stack to take this. That's a lot of cavalry. That's a lot of calves in that stack. What's the power situation look like? Yeah, Charlemagne definitely took it on the chin there. I'm mostly interested in seeing if this stack can take Heliopolis. I'm still wondering if Ramses is ever going to turn on the culture slider. I think if he turns on the slider, he has a real chance to win. I just don't know if he's ever going to do that. Well, these catapults are trying to bombard the defenses here. Darius starts his spaceship. So for the moment, I just want to see if Heliopolis can hold out or not. I've been impressed at how Charlemagne has been able to research as well as he has in this game, considering he's been kind of out of it the whole game. All right, now that Ramses has infantry as well, I don't think this can break through. Cavs don't do that well against infantry. I'd be surprised if he's able to have success. Oh, beware the Babylonian navy shooting away at the enemy cities. That's going to be tricky to invade, though, over there. But we'll see. We'll see if a big stack forms. I see rifles walking over there, but rifles are not going to do anything against infantry. That's not happening. Roosevelt, that's right. I'm sorry. Roosevelt can plot it pleased. I forgot. Roosevelt can plot it pleased. Sorry. He's the only leader in this game that can plot it pleased, so we should check on him periodically. But he is not currently. Thanks for the reminder. I forgot that he actually can. It's weird that he can. It's not what you would expect, but yeah, he actually can. Hammurabi is, of course, also currently killing his score because he's polluting his cities. All his cities are suffering from pollution. He needs to get some more health, though he does have a lot of health resources. So the siege of Heliopolis continues. Not a whole lot going on in this war at the moment. There doesn't seem to be any real attempt by Hammurabi to attack just yet. Darius is building the culture wonders. Ramses, are you ever going to turn on the slider? As this very slow-moving siege goes on. We're on turn 250. As Darius continues making his way through the tech tree. I guess he doesn't have that many techs to go. Huh. Maybe he is online to win a pretty early spaceship victory. Ramses won't turn on the slider while he's at war. Maybe. I mean, he's down to 55 turns. He's down to 55 turns, and that's with the slider not on. It does make you wonder if he had just turned the slider on. Well, just like that, Ramses out of warring. So he will have an opportunity here. It's just if he decides to go for it or not. Will he choose to turn on the slider? Because I think he makes it across the finish line first if he goes down that route. So we could see a lot of different outcomes here. We could see a Darius first by spaceship with Hammurabi second because he has the score lead. We could see a Ramses first by culture, which would then mean Hammurabi would be second place. So Darius could get first, or he could be locked out of the playoffs entirely. Hammurabi does look like he's at the... Hammurabi looks like he's... Yeah, he's probably second no matter what. Probably. I think that's right. Yeah, I think he's probably second no matter what. Because I don't think he can outrace... He can't outrace Darius to space, and he can't outrace Ramses to culture, so he's probably locked into second. No, the city Ramses lost was not one of his holy cities. Good question. His holy cities are Thebes, which is already going to go legendary, Heliopolis, and then Alexandria over here. Alexandria is the one we're checking, because this one is the one that has This one is the one that'll go legendary last. It's currently turn 305. If you were able to get any, what's it called? Great artist that could drop for culture bombs, or it could also drop if, by the way, apparently there's huge stacks walking through American territory right now. It could also drop if he turned on the slider, because that would make a big difference. I don't know exactly what he's doing. The Ramses' refusal to turn on the slider has been one of the more puzzling things. All right, well, here's a... there. I was going to say this isn't a very impressive stack, but the defense is even weaker. So, possibly... There's only a couple of units here. I still don't know if this is enough to break through, though. So anyway, we'll just keep watching that slider to see if Ramses turns... I mean, we'll know if Ramses turns the slider on. Apparently, we still have a lot of medieval units walking around in Roosevelt's territory. Can we check to see if someone can win Diplo? I've been waiting to see if someone who would build the UN, because that actually does matter as far as who builds it. Looks like Darius is going to be the one to build it. Because I actually don't know if Darius would have been nominated. Yeah, Darius would not be nominated otherwise, which is interesting. But he's gonna... Well, let's see how they vote in this initial election. But yeah, that's also maybe a possibility too. So it'll be Darius and Hammurabi. I don't think there's enough pluses for either to win. I don't think that there's enough for a Diplo victory, because even Hammurabi only has 27% pop. Like, no one's really that close. So yeah, we're still looking at a turn 300-ish cultural victory. Oh yeah, I forgot. Darius needs to not only reach the end of the tech tree, he has to build the spaceship and then 10 turns for it to arrive. I forgot about the fact he has to build the stupid thing. His production's not amazing. That could be a problem for him. Darius has how many techs to go? He needs decent amounts. Let's see. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Yeah, he needs about 8 techs. He'll probably research robotics, which is not strictly required. Probably. And Hammurabi's about to unlock tanks, which is likely to mean bad things for Charlemagne. Yeah. All right. Leading Carius is Darius. Interesting. So Hammurabi and Ramses voted together, and everyone else voted for Darius. But even if the votes played out the same way in the actual election, that wouldn't be enough to get over the finish. Now, Darius, I can't see him winning a Diplo victory. Here's up like +3, +3, +2, +2. None of these people are going to vote for him for the victory. You don't vote for a Diplo victory at +3 and +2. You usually have to be like friendly for that to happen. Anyway, so yeah, we're just kind of chilling. I'm kind of hoping Ramses wins by culture, because I'd actually have a really good score in the picking contest if that happens. But Darius, I still think has a shot at this. Hammurabi, though, is likely to start taking pretty big chunks out of Charlemagne pretty soon. He's got some units down here. He's got a battleship or a destroyer taking out some of the defenses at Rostov. The problem for Hammurabi has been that cavalry don't really work very well against infantry. I think I said that earlier over by Heliopolis when this city was under siege. Just doesn't really work that well. All right, 45 turns. Yeah, it's right around turn 300. At least for Darius's sake, he did go composites early, because that'll give him plenty of time to build the 5 casings. We saw that was a problem for Joao when he went composites last and he didn't build all the composites. So that's good. Still has to go back for fission, though, and we'll see if he wastes his time on stealth. At least Darius does not have militaristic tech preferences, so he's unlikely to waste a lot of time on stealth. I'm kind of just watching to see. Here comes the tanks, by the way. So Cavs won't make any progress against infantry, not unless you just have like stupidly high numbers of them. But what's it called? Tanks definitely will. Tanks do not have much trouble against them. I guess we'll just check in to see if Roosevelt's plotting war by any chance. Okay, I don't think he is. I'm not really sure why he would start a war right now, but why does the AI do things anyway? I'm not sure that Harappan can hold for too much longer, because the tanks are probably going to go here first. Free speech, global free speech. The Observer Civ declines to express an opinion. Darius going for early laser. Well, that is not a mandatory spaceship tech, so that is 4 turns that do not make progress towards the spaceship. Good military techs, but doesn't do anything to actually get you to the spaceship faster. It's not as bad as stealth, because it's not as expensive as stealth, but it doesn't help you at all. These... Okay, apparently everyone wanted to be in free speech. These cross-map wars can be a little hard to follow sometimes. Like, where exactly is Hammurabi trying to fight? We'll just get an update on the power graph here. Apparently, Hammurabi and Darius would be quite the showdown, but we aren't going to see it between the two of them. I mean, I just see this massive wave of purple going across the minimap, but, like, what are they actually trying to attack? It's much less clear. I think that Charlemagne is going to start losing cities soon, though. Meanwhile, Ramses, will he turn on the slider? He's down to 41. Yeah, he's right around turn 300. It speeds up a different tech, though. No, I don't think laser speeds up any techs at all. I could be wrong, but I don't think it does. Oh, it does. I guess it technically gives you an extra discount on fiber optics. That's fair, but I mean, it's not worth the cost. It's not worth spending 12,000 beakers to get 2,000 beakers off fiber optics. But I guess it does do a very small thing. The Observer finally joins the rest of the world in free speech. Okay. Is Nuremberg the target now? Hammurabi, what are you actually where are you actually trying to attack here? He seems to be pretty scattershot in terms of where the units are going. I guess Nuremberg is the target. I mean, Hammurabi definitely has the military edge. Charlemagne had to go back for astronomy, so yeah. I think the cities will start falling soon. Yeah, that's a lot of... There's tanks and infantry there. I don't think there's enough to hold that. At least Darius is almost done with his laser pit stop. Okay, yeah, we had our first city fall. I wonder if Ramses after... Like, what tech is Ramses going for? We know the infamous one where they turn on the slider is plastics. But he's still not that close to plastics yet. Well, Charlie, will Charlemagne survive to the end of this game is kind of a good question too. He doesn't have that much territory. He has 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 cities. Might take a little while to go through. One thing that's important to keep in mind though is at the end of the game, the AI can definitely conquer a lot faster than earlier in the game. For most of the game, the advantage is on the defensive side, but like in the extreme late game, the advantage actually kind of switches over to the offensive side. Environmentalism, okay. Ramses going for industrialism. Ramses, what are you doing, buddy? If you turn on the slider, the game would just be over. Maybe he does want plastics. I don't know why the AI goes to plastics and then turns on the slider. Maybe he's going to plastics. I don't know. But anyway, in the late game, yeah, things kind of flip, and you can the cities can actually fall very quickly in the late game. If you're remembering last week when we had the Qin Shi Huang versus Suryavarman war, Suryavarman was dying fast at the end of the game. The global environmentalism is probably good for someone like Hammurabi because he was suffering from health. It's actually probably good for what's his name? Ramses too, because like I don't think Darius needed the health, but I think Hammurabi and Ramses actually benefit from it a good bit from being in environmentalism and getting the extra health. Is Ramses plotting on the king? Ramses, I very much doubt he's plotting war. Oh my god, he is plotting war. Okay. Is Ramses also plotting? Ramses, don't... No, I don't. I have exactly 9 wars. We don't need another war here, buddy. All right, Darius is on genetics. That's not a very fast genetics time, though. Did he have to suffer a turn of anarchy to adopt environmentalism? I don't know. Well, this city, Alexandria, is still the one we're watching. It's 34 turns now. So yeah, it's like just after turn 300. Might be close. If Ramses never turns on the slider, I think it's going to be close between him and Darius as far as who's going to take this. And then meanwhile, Ramses is starting to lose his, or Charlemagne is starting to lose his core as Darius continues to build spaceship parts. Ramsey's not going slider because he wanted industrialism for tanks. I mean, maybe. Roosevelt signs it. Okay, that's unlikely to go anywhere because I don't think either of them are starting a war. Yeah, Roosevelt's like, I'll take my chances in the wildcard game. Thank you. I'm just gonna chill and I'll go to the wildcard game and maybe things will go better there. I don't want to mess with. I don't want to mess with these guys. So yeah, it does look like Charlemagne held out for a while because he had infantry, but like once the tanks started showing up, that was kind of a bad sign. Defensive pack drop anyone to cautious? I don't think so. I mean, two of the leaders are in wars right now. So Darius and Char's techs he still needs. So he's on genetics right now. Then he still has to go back for fission, unfortunately. Because he has to get to... Well, I guess he could technically skip it. He could skip this and just go to ecology. He probably won't, but he could. He could also skip computers at this point. No, he could skip it. Because he doesn't need robotics. He could technically just research ecology, fiber optics, fusion, and that would be it. Unfortunately, if he's leaving the engines for last, they're very expensive spaceship parts. Oh, you need fission for fusion. Okay. Gotcha. Sorry about that. I missed that that's also a requirement. Okay. We could defy the resolution, but come on. Observer Civ does not try to make waves on its own. So yeah, I mean he's gotta finish the tech tree, then he's gotta build the parts, and then it's 10 turns to get there. And it's gonna be close with Ramses. It really is. Ramses now going mass media. Okay, confirms that everybody loves free speech. I continue to check in on this city. Oh, we're down. Oh, I think you sped this up a little bit. We're at 28 turns now. Why in the world you're not... I wonder if I think the extra health from environmentalism is actually helping here. Like, I legitimately think the extra health from environmentalism is helping. If you would just turn on the slider too, right? Because this city makes 69 commerce. If this was funneled into... Instead of research, if this was funneled into commerce or culture... Oh, yeah, the free speech, the broadcast tower. Yeah. I don't know. I don't know if Darius can make it. He just doesn't have much production. He builds the parts pretty slowly. I will say if he leaves fusion for last, those engines take so long to build. I don't know. I think that could be a problem too. Anyway, the capital just got taken out there for Charlie as Erwin Rommel dies in combat. He settled an artist. Ah, good pickup, guys. He settled an artist in there. Well, that was in there earlier. That's not new. He already had the artist in there. He did settle the great engineer, though. More recently. 27 turns. He only needs 11,000 more culture. That's not much. I mean, if he gets one more great artist... I don't think my victory date prediction is going to be too good on this one. This game's going to be ending sooner than I think. Than I thought. Yeah, does Charlemagne survive to the end of this game? Is a good question. There's not... Look at the defenders in this city are like so beat up. There's just these tanks hammering away at them. And I think there's bombers taking out the defenses because something's hitting the defenses of this city. Which are almost... yep, okay. That's an ordinary... Wait, well, why is an ordinary engineer listed down at the bottom of the screen? I guess you're right. It doesn't have the super specialist logo. Okay, now we're down to 22 turns, so we're looking at right around, again, under turn 300 now. I don't know if I don't think Darius can finish the tech tree, build the spaceship, and wait out the 10 turns before a Ramses cultural victory hits. It's looking less likely now. I'm also not sure that Charlemagne can survive that long, because he is falling fast now. His core is getting ripped apart, and he doesn't have that much left. 1, 2, 3, 4. He has 5 cities. He's already lost half his territory. And the tanks are rolling. So maybe Ramses never turns on the slider and wins by culture anyway? That would seem to be ridiculous. But that might be what happens in this game. Even though that seems crazy. Oh, it's from Industrial Park. Thank you, Civic. I was trying to figure that out. Where, like, what was this engineer coming from? I so rarely build the industrial parks. But, I mean, he's got... that another reason... Look at this. The gunships are killing the defenders, but no one can take the city. He needs to drop some paratroopers there. And meanwhile, Darius is on fiber optics. Darius is certainly getting close here. That's true. Elizabeth has done it. I mean, we've seen AIs do it before. Like, right here is why you're seeing partly how the late game blitz can work. Like, the... Charlemagne voted no, but it still passes anyway. The paratroopers come in and kill it. Like, you bomb out the defender, bomb out the defenses with bombers, and then you can strike the defenders to take collateral. Then the gunships fly in, and the paratroopers capture the city. Like, you can just do it really, really fast in the extreme late game. And of course, the tanks can roll in 2 tiles per turn as well. And any city on the coast can get shot with destroyers and battleships. So, like, there's a lot of tools to take cities quickly in the extreme late game, which is what we're getting to here. Yeah, and I want to be clear, Darius is on pace for a very fast spaceship victory. He's probably on pace for like a turn 3:15 spaceship victory, which is very fast. There's nothing. Look at this city. There's nobody in here. They just literally just need to walk a unit in to capture the city. There's nothing here. But gunships can't capture cities. They're like spies in that regard. Will Hammurabi walk a unit in to take the city? It's currently being defended by a Christian missionary. It literally just needs to walk any unit over here and it'll fall instantly. The AI sometimes has trouble with this stuff, but Charlemagne is still falling very quickly. He's got 1 city with defenders. Yeah, 2 cities falling at the same time. Okay, 3 cities falling at the same time. Okay. Oh no, Ramses, why? Ramses, my 9 war prediction. No, Ramses, why? And we should check the culture over here. Yes. We are down to 17 turns. So we are looking for, again, right around turn 300. Darius research check. Also, what is going on here? Why are we not on ironworking? Did I click the wrong tech? I must have clicked the wrong tech earlier. Darius research was what I was looking at. So he's on the engines, which is good. But then he still needs ecology. He still needs to get the life support. After that, hopefully for his sake, he'll research ecology. And he does have to. We also have to see how quickly he builds the engines, which, as I said, are very expensive to build. Can he get that last spaceship tech and build all the parts in like 7 turns? It's not impossible. I want to see I'm really curious what tech he researches next after. All right, so of course, it gets taken by a random cavalry from Ramses because there's no defenders in the city. Okay, if Ramses steals the krill credit, it's gonna be Ramses stealing the kill credit would be hilarious. I still think Hammurabi will just land paratroopers or something, or march his big tank stack down here. That is hilarious, though, that Ramses took a city in this war. Darius, what tech are you going to research next? Darius, if you research anything other than ecology, the game is over. You have to research this tech to have any shot. If he does computers or stealth, the game is over. He has to research ecology as his next tech. Also, where is his spaceship engines building? Oh, a 6-turn build. That's probably too slow. He actually is banging out the engines super fast in the capital. That's probably too slow, though. Let's see what he researches. Because there is also the travel time after that. He did research ecology. So that keeps him in the game. but I think that might be too slow on the transit time. Again, this is a really close finish again. All right, well, that's it for Charlemagne, who gets the Darwin Award this game for committing suicide for no reason whatsoever. There was absolutely no reason to start those late game wars. Yeah, Darius has already finished one engine. All right, well, before we get to the ending here, we eliminate Charlemagne yet again from this one. This is turn 285. Pool 1 and 2 leaders not doing great this season. 285. Kill credit goes to Hammurabi, who, even though he's not going to win this game, has still put up a monster scoring game. Another kill point for Hammurabi. So Hammurabi, Jolnar Binks gains another point, and Charlemagne is unfortunately out, having scored no points for Kajatliak. Unfortunate. He turned out his starting position maybe wasn't as good as we thought before the game started. He didn't feel like he was ever very strong in this one. It can be really hard to tell before the game start, but just didn't have it this time. All right, Alexandria is it's a turn 399 victory for Culture. I don't think I think the spaceship is going to miss it by a couple turns here. I think the spaceship is going to miss it by a couple turns. It's just that close again. It's amazing how we've been getting all these close games this season. Unless Pasargade can speed up the engine timing in some fashion here. Where's the other part? All right, well, the life support's going to be done, no question. Life support's going to be done, like, right away. But that engine tech, yeah, I don't think that engine tech's going to be fast enough. Wait, did Darius just do a Civic swap or something? Because he did not, I don't think he's got that, yeah, I thought it was 5 turns last turn as well. Oh no, now we're down to just 12 turns remaining. Are the other cities legendary? Well, Heliopolis is about to go legendary. Oh, he could launch with one engine, I suppose. Does he want to launch with one engine? He could. Oh, he launched with one engine, but it's a 12-turn travel time. Oh, this is going to be really close again. He launched with only one engine. Oh, it's 12 turns. Oh, so wait. When is his engine arriving? 1856. 1856. What turn is that? Hold on. I hate that it doesn't give you the turn. 1856 is turn. I have a turn to years reference. That is turn 298. It's 298. His spaceship arrives. 298. And this hits in 298. So that's the same turn. That's literally the same turn. How can we have another season with a same turn potential victory condition? He has everything except one of the engines. He has every single part except he has one of the 2 engines, which means no risk of blowing up. That's not an issue. So this is going to go to a tiebreaker unless Ramses can speed this up by a turn or 2. It's literally a same turn victory. The problem is Ramses might be able to shave a turn off. We don't know. Again, Ramses having never turned the slider on is kind of amazing. He just turned the slider on. He just turned the slider on. He just turned on the slider on the literal last moment of the game. He just hit plastics. What is it with plastics that causes them to turn the slider on? Oh, he just trolled us so hard. He just trolled us so hard. Oh my god, styling on Darius. Whew, it was gonna be same turn. It was going to be same turn. Decided to give Darius hope just so he could take it away. I mean, I think that's it. I don't see how anything can change in 6 turns here. Unless Darius launches nukes, yeah. One thing that's interesting is Hammurabi almost caught up to Darius at the end of the game here in tech. I mean, he still was behind, but like he almost caught him in tech. If it had been a longer game, I think he might have been able to run him down. And that's because Darius was actually very, very efficient in building the spaceship in this game. He got the casings early. He launched with one engine instead of just accepted that he was going to have a 12-turn travel time instead of spending 5 more turns building the other engine. He never got computers. He never got robotics. It's extremely common for the AI to go for robotics. He never went for stealth. I know he did advanced flight, but like that was about as efficient a path through the spaceship as we're ever going to see. And it was a sub 300 turn spaceship. He never ever got out of his corner. He never fought anyone. Not a single conflict the whole game. He never did anything except build in the corner, and he came that close to winning. What? It was just like the classic Darius game. That is literally Darius in action. He sits in the corner, doesn't want to fight. He just wants to build his spaceship. Is anybody plotting to war? I guess that's the one other thing could happen is if somebody is plotting war. I would be. Oh, we also have a Diplo victory vote, but I now hold on. We have a Diplo victory vote. I don't think anyone can get high enough. I just don't think that can happen because I don't think this is high enough for anyone. But that would be an even bigger troll fest if now suddenly Darius won by if Darius now won by Diplo victory after all that. Well, apparently we're gonna have a turn 293 victory here. One turn, if Darius wins by diplomacy 1 turn before Ramses' cultural victory hits, would be hilarious. But I don't think that's gonna happen. Let's see though. No, not enough. As expected, everyone abstained. But a little last second tension there. If Roosevelt had voted for Hammurabi, that actually would have been enough. But Roosevelt was never going to vote for Hammurabi because he's only plus. I guess he was only +4. So, all right. Well, with that said, it looks as though we've come to the final turn of the game because we have Ramses about to go over the finish line here. His 2 other cities are already legendary. He has 80,000 culture in Thebes. And he's going to outrace the spaceship by what? It was a turn 298 spaceship, so he outraced it by 5 turns. 5-turn difference. Almost the same turn thing. Yeah, Ramses actually last in score. Literally last in score, but he gets over the cultural finish line first. So Ramses is going to take it. Turn 293. Let me jot that down. Culture, turn 293. Wow. What a great game. I mean, for as much as we had 4 peaceful leaders here left at the end, to have it come that close again is pretty wild. Also, a good scoring game for me, even though I didn't hit something like the victory condition. I actually hit the leaders for a change. Okay, let's talk about the replay, about how this game plays out. What were some of the big turning moments in the game? I don't know that there was any really big turning moment in the early game, except maybe the Barb cities popping up where they did. These Barb cities were this one here probably screwed with the Eastern AIs a good bit. I don't think the ones down here were that impactful, but like these over here probably messed with these guys a little bit. But I don't think that there was like one big dramatic shifting moment in the early game. I think the biggest thing was Peter was just really, really weak. Like really weak. And that colored a lot of the early game. I will say that Darius basically got the territory he needed. Like he did not get stuck on 7 cities. He got out to a full 10, and that makes a big difference. And that was almost enough to win the game. Ramses got enough cultural cities that he was able to pursue culture. Like if he only gets 2 holy cities, that's not going to be enough. We didn't see anyone dog proud early. We had a 1v1 war here and a 1v1 war here. Potential changing moment in the game could have been, what if Boudica had gone after Roosevelt as well? Maybe she and Peter can like partition and she snowballs that way. Or what if Boudica goes after Ramses? Maybe she has more success than fighting Hammurabi. Like she fought Hammurabi and didn't really achieve anything, and like that stalled her out. I do think there's the possibility for Boudica to get off and rolling, but like it didn't happen in this game. I do think everything broke really well in favor of Darius in this game, in the sense that like he never had to fight anyone. He literally was engaged in 0 wars the whole game. He maybe doesn't get that lucky in some of the other games. Hammurabi looked very strong. I expect he'll do. I expect Hammurabi's going to win a fair chunk of the alternate histories because he was super strong in this game. I do think if Boudica had not attacked him, that kind of slowed down his early snowball a little bit. He might have been even stronger. Like he ended up as the strongest AI in the game. It's just Darius was able to outrace him at the end, and then Ramses did the culture thing. Ramses, there's probably some games where Ramses just gets too beat up to go for a cultural victory, which is obviously his plan. But like, I do think that Hammurabi, Ramses, Darius probably win most of these games. Maybe Boudica has like a couple games where she snowballs. I don't really think there's any serious chance for Peter to win. Charlemagne maybe gets some seconds. I don't really see him getting some firsts. Maybe Roosevelt, but I don't. I think this was actually a pretty good Roosevelt game. I think it's going to be either Hammurabi, Ramses, and Darius are going to win almost all of these games. So yeah, they were the three strongest on this map, and whew, it was close between the three of them, definitely. So another really entertaining game.